Welcome to DAX Machina, with your hosts, Naomi Finn, Steve Wildman Munrotis, and D.A. Roberts. Join us as we explore writing, books, authors, and all things horror. We will delve into the sightings, reports, encounters, and tales of monsters. We will also explore the writings of D.A. Roberts along with others in the horror genre. We will investigate the possibilities that monsters may not be safely locked away in the pages of books. They might just walk among us even now. Grab some popcorn and lock the doors. It's going to be a creepy journey. Welcome to DAX Machina.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of DAX Machina. We got a great show for you tonight. As usual, on Wednesday nights, my partner in crime tonight is Naomi Finn. I'm sure you guys know her from the Dixie Cryptid and What If It's True podcast. Both awesome podcasts. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go over and check them out. Tell Cam Buckner I sent you. And I'm glad you guys are with us tonight. Naomi, how are you doing?
I am just this side of fabulous. How about you?
Well, they say any day you wake up on this side of the dirt, it's got to be a good one. So I guess I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I saw daylight today instead of a shovel in my face. So I guess we're all right.
Yeah, a shovel in the face is generally pretty indicative of a bad day.
Yeah. Even if it isn't full of dirt.
Yeah. Bing! Hello.
It's like you woke up in a Three Stooges movie or something.
Yeah, no kidding. Why are you?
Yep.
We're getting our Three Stooges out of the way early, folks.
Yeah, we are.
Tonight we are going to be talking about the famous Hockomock Swamp in Massachusetts. It's right smack in the middle of an area of weirdness known as the Bridgewater Triangle. If you're not familiar with it, hopefully you will be by the time we're done tonight, because there is just a great deal of high strangeness goes on in that area. Missing people, satanic cults, Bigfoot, UFOs, little people like Pukwudgies, ghosts, glowing balls of light, lizard people, giant snakes. If it's weird and it can happen, it's been reported in that swamp.
Big angry dogs.
Big angry dogs.
Yes, all kinds of craziness over there. Really made my list, went way up high on my bucket list of places to visit. That I know.
I'd love to go there. It's got to be weirder than Keith Richards' closet.
Yeah. Yep. And older. Although it may not last as long.
True, possibly. I think after a nuclear war, the only two beings left are going to be Keith Richards and Betty White.
Yep.
They'll fight in the wasteland for supremacy of what's left of the world. Folks, tonight we are going to be doing a giveaway. We will do a $5 giveaway, $5 gift card, and might possibly see if we can swing something else around as well. But primarily the $5 giveaway. And Josh is in the audience tonight. He's listening. We're going to set up the bot. So if you want to participate in the giveaway tonight, you need to be able to answer and give the answer to this question in the chat. And we're not going to do in the chat on YouTube. So it has to be on the YouTube chat, because only the bot only works on YouTube for some reason. It doesn't like Facebook, or it said something that Facebook didn't like and they banned it. One of the two. But the keyword is you say the full title, and that will get you registered. You have to say the full title of the show. You only say it once. If you say it more than once, the bot will disqualify you. So make sure you type it into the chat in YouTube and say it once. And at some point during the night, and I will show this and ask the question again multiple times. We'll say we'll do the giveaway around 11-ish. So that gives us a couple hours for you guys to try to figure out the answer to the question. The first time for showing it will be right now. My wife bought me a new cryptid shirt, and I love it so much. It is going to be tonight's guess. So if you answer this in the chat, you have to have it's a 2-word title. You have to answer it. You have to answer correctly in the chat, and again, only do it one time in the YouTube chat, or the bot will disqualify you. But I want the name of the movie that this is from. My wife bought me my new Bigfoot shirt. It's one of my new favorite Bigfoot shirts now. So if you can identify the name of the movie, 2 words in the title, that this comes from, yeah, you will be entered into the drawing. So here we go.
That is so cool.
My wife found that and bought it for me, and I love it.
That
so I'm
is
not
so
going to
cool.
give it
I need
away.
to send her my size.
I will not. Yeah, she can get it. That I won't give away what it is. Well, I won't say what it is. It was one of my kids' favorite movies. I watched it about a million times with them growing up. I think I could quote the dialogue about as much as I can. The movie Tombstone. So I showed that now, and I will try to do it at the top and the bottom of every hour if I can remember. If not, I'll at least do it once an hour. But bear in mind what that is. Make your answer in the YouTube channel chat, and you'll be entered to win with the bot. So Josh is setting that up now. Anyway,
right.
Now that I've got all that said, that big mouthful, answering Josh.
Okay. While DA answers Josh, by the way, Steve, how you doing tonight?
Steve?
That's what it says on the screen.
Oh, good Lord. Brain fart. Maybe I'll just be Steve. I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
There we go.
Nice to have Steve. Oh, is he on vacation this week?
Hey, I think he is.
And
I will shoot him a message later.
Okay.
I've got codes lined up. Might even throw in a little something special on either another drawing or as part of the same one. I haven't decided tonight. We haven't quite got crazy. I haven't quite figured it out because we're both crazy, aren't we?
A little bit.
Just a little. We kind of devolved into madness at the end of Saturday night show, which I still chuckle about when I think about gerbils, but we won't launch into that again. We still laugh about it, but we'll go ahead and
it was laying there on the table going, "Shut up!"
Yeah, it's telling the other gerbils at the pet shop, best home ever. Yeah, Patty says Steve's out looking for sugar. Patty says Steve's out looking for sugar-free gummy bears. He might very well be.
I was at the store. I looked at the gummy bears and I walked right on by.
Wasn't even gonna stop.
That's a world I do not want to be involved in.
I have a friend that uses CBD oil gummies, and he tried to give me some of those. And I'm like, nope, I've heard some bad side effects from those. Gonna pass. Well, anyway, before we devolve too much into madness, let's delve into our topic.
All right.
We pulled a lot of research on this one tonight. In fact, this was your brainchild. So if you don't mind, I'll let you just jump right into this. And once you've kind of given everybody the backstory and a little bit of the interesting points, we'll jump into the cryptid sightings and all the juicy accounts.
All right. Well, the Hockomock Swamp, where the spirits dwell, or as the English refer to it, Devil's Swamp, is located in southeastern Massachusetts, and is associated. And I'm sorry, let me turn this way so I can see it.
That's when your paper's right side up.
Exactly. Hockomock Swamp and its associated wetlands and water bodies comprise 16,950 acres, making it the largest vegetated freshwater wetland system in Massachusetts. The natural soak-up and release properties of this white cedar swamp with its thick bedding of peat act as a flood control system for the region. It is not a muddy place or a dirty place. In fact, because it filters through such a heavy mat of peat moss, the waters at its core are some of the cleanest you will find. Long before Europeans came to this region, is it Wampanoag?
Wampanoag.
Wampanoag people lived here and thrived on the bounties of the swamp. They hunted and fished this area and consumed the vegetation for both culinary and medicinal purposes for generations upon generations. They gave the swamp its name, Hockomock, which means spirit, or where the spirits dwell. Our modern mindset might immediately draw us to the evil or dark side of that concept, but the Wampanoag people saw it as a place where both good and evil spirits dwelled. Those spirits who were good led them to wild game, fish, and plant life that kept them alive. Those spirits who were bad, well, it was here that Metacomet was also known as King Philip, the sachem of the Wampanoag people, called home. And it was here that they stood up against the encroaching Europeans. Many atrocities were committed during this war on both sides. Non-combatants, such as the elderly, women, and children, were mercilessly slaughtered. Some were even burned alive at the stake. It wasn't until the death of Metacom that the 14-month war ended. He was shot and killed by John Alderman, after which he was beheaded, drawn, and quartered. His head was placed on a spike and displayed at Plymouth Colony for 20 years. According to legend, the Wampanoag people cursed Hockomock Swamp as a result of their treatment before, during, and after King Philip's War. These days, the indigenous people of the area avoid the swamp and the evil spirits said to inhabit it at night. Some are afraid to hunt or fish it even during the day. But was it the war that brought on the curse, or was it a curse already in place that caused the war? Hockomock Swamp is home to many interesting rock formations, some natural, others man-made. Among these are Dighton Rock. Dighton Rock is a 40-ton boulder that sits on the banks of the Taunton River. It is covered with ancient carvings, inscriptions, and hieroglyphics that have stumped archaeologists for hundreds of years. Their source has been attributed to Phoenicians, Native Americans, Portuguese, and Vikings, with no one ever knowing for sure.
Did they try Google Translate?
They might have, yeah.
That should probably do the trick.
I think they need their own Rosetta Stone.
There you go.
Profile Rock, not far from Dighton Rock, is, when viewed from the side on a nearby hillside, reveals the profile of a Native American. The Wampanoag people have always considered this site to be hallowed ground. Long before Europeans arrived, they held sacred rituals here. These days, the spirit of a Native American can be seen sitting cross-legged on the rock with his arms outstretched as if in mid-prayer to the spirits he worshipped. Anawan Rock. The location where Anawan, the sachem who succeeded Metacom, surrendered to the English, thus ending King Philip's War. It is said that the angry spirits of the warriors who were captured that day haunt the place even now. Assonet, or Assonet ledge, and I've never figured out how to pronounce that one.
I don't know.
Located in the Freetown State Forest, the ledge is said to be a place where the warriors who were unwilling to surrender jumped to their deaths instead. Reportedly, anyone who visits the location is overcome with feelings of desolation and sadness, thus feeling the need to throw themselves off the ledge and into the waters below. As recently as 2004, one man did exactly that right in front of his friends. Solitude Rock. Sitting on the edge of Hockomock Swamp is a rock with a poem carved into it. There's no mystery to this rock. The poem was written and carved by Reverend Thomas Paine. However, the poem is so lovely I can't help but include it here. All ye who in future days walk by Nunkatesset stream, love not him who hummed his lay, cheerful to the parting beam, but the beauty that he wooed in this quiet solitude. Spirits and ghosts abound in a place like Hockomock Swamp, as well they should. Wars were fought here. Innocent blood has been shed here into the peaty soil. People have reported seeing canoes carrying the natives of the land being paddled along the shores at night. One woman, when she approached a restored one-room schoolhouse, reported seeing a class full of children inside being taught by their teacher who, along with her students, disappeared in front of the woman's eyes. Not only spirits, but UFOs have been reported as early as 1760 when a ball of fire was observed over the region. In March of 1979, two newsmen from WHDH saw a mysterious object emit a green substance over the region. Even a police officer reported seeing a UFO in November of 1997. But of all the things that fascinate us about Hockomock Swamp and the Bridgewater Triangle, of which it is a part, what captures our imagination most is the cryptids.
Definitely.
So that's just a brief overview of what the swamp has to offer. I didn't cover everything. There are mainly I didn't cover the cryptids because I know we're going to do them in detail.
Absolutely.
But there have been ritualistic killings there. There has been Satan worship there. There have been a lot of really crazy things happen in that swamp.
A lot of disappearances too, just gone.
Yes. And
which may or may not be attributed to the Pukwudgies. We'll look into that.
That's right. So which one do you want to start with?
Well, I thought I would point out that I'm no help whatsoever in sounding out the Wampanoag language. I'm pretty good at sounding out Lakota and Cherokee, but Wampanoag escapes me. So your guess is as good as mine on the pronunciations. Oh yeah, that's the
that's the ledge.
The ledge.
Yeah,
allegedly, pun, boom. Allegedly, there is a person standing on top of that rock, and that's to give you an idea for scale. Of course, down at the bottom, you can see like boats and stuff. So that's got to be every bit of 80 to 100 feet.
That's quite a fall to take.
Yeah, and if you hit any of those rock outcroppings or one of them trees on the way down, it's not going to do wonders for you either.
I also have a picture here of what the swamp in general looks like.
Pretty swampy.
Yeah.
And it's in Massachusetts, so it gets cold as hell in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a frozen swamp.
It's a white cedar swamp, and the white cedar has a lot of medicinal, magical connotations to go with it.
Used a lot in Native American magics and potions.
Yes, and there's Indian burial ground there too, which interestingly, back when they tried to excavate it, it had red ochre in it, I believe. That when they opened the graves, the red ochre just boiled away and dissolved right before their eyes. So, yeah, lots and lots of fun stuff about that swamp.
Yeah, Sal's got an interesting point. It's not the fall, it's the sudden stop at the bottom that hurts. You are correct, sir. And also the obstacles between you and the final destination kind of impact things as well.
But it only hurts for a second.
Yeah. It'll be a brief pain.
Yeah. So
I wonder how many people have actually fallen to their death from that on that cliff.
I don't know, but I just realized my husband started running his bathwater.
That's all right. I can only barely hear it.
I found it interesting that a group of people went up there in 2004 to see it, and one of the members of the party just suddenly left to his death.
I wonder if that place has anything to do. It's called L'Appel de Vide, the Call of the Void. And people talk about it all over the world, though, like standing on the edge of a cliff and wondering, would I survive that, or what would happen if I just jumped? They just have that feeling like they should jump. In fact, at Hockomock State Park, here in Missouri, where I set one of the final battle scene in Apex Predator Wolf Moon, the first of the Apex Predator series, Hockomock State Park, there is a big cliff overlooking Lake of the Ozarks that they refer to as Lover's Leap, where allegedly a pair of young Native American couple who were forbidden to marry jumped to their death. And it's I don't know if it's attracted other people to it over the years, but they've got it kind of fenced off. You can go up and kind of look at it and kind of down, but you can't get right up to the edge. But I wonder if that has something to do with that lapel.
It could be. I remember being on top of Pikes Peak and feeling that way.
It's just that weird call. Yeah. The call of the void, they call it. Yeah. But yeah, I can make it.
It's not that far. But interestingly, though, I was there with my grandchildren, and I could not bear to have them go to the edge. It just drove me insane. I was like, no, I can go stand on the edge with my toes hanging over. I don't care, but you're not going anywhere near that.
Yeah, that's the way my mother was when we went to Grand Canyon when I was a kid. She's like, "You stay back from that edge."
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not going to jump. I'm not crazy. Northwood
Follow the
Scripted.
void.
Yeah, call of the void. Northwood Scripted said, "Fortunately, I don't remember the pain of getting hit by a car. I just remember opening my eyes and wondering why I was in a hospital bed and what hospital it was." Yeah, I can imagine that'd be kind of a rude awakening. I had something kind of similar years ago when I was an officer. I got kicked in the head multiple times. Guy probably would have stomped my skull in, cracked it like an egg had it been for my partner that was with me at the time. I remember the fight. I remember getting kicked, but after the kick, I stayed in the fight. I mean, I've watched the video from the camera. I stayed in the fight the whole time, but I don't remember after the second kick to the head. And the next thing I remember, I'm being put against the side of a building by an EMT shining a light in my eyes and go, "Yeah, he's concussed. We got to get him out of here." And I don't remember about a 25, 30-minute chunk, and it's never come back.
I had a very strange phone call from my sister several years ago, probably 15 years ago now. It went something along the lines of, "It turns out I do have a brain. They're going to operate on it. Bye." She had left this message on my answering machine, how long ago that was. And I lived in an area where I only had the landline in the house because I needed something to call for 911 on if there was an emergency. Because my then husband felt that it was important for him to take the cell phone with him when he went to work in case something happened on the road. Of course, he also felt it was important to keep the cell phone at home with him in case something happened when I was gone. So I never had the cell phone in my possession. And so I got this landline. I didn't get to the phone in time. She lived about 100 miles from me, and I get this crazy message from her. Just that turns out I have a brain. They're going to operate on it. I had to wait for my husband to get home from work so I could call my brother my brothers to see if any of them knew what was going on. None of them had gotten the same message. Panicked and I could not stand it. I called every number I could find, found out she had been, she raises horses, and her stallion kicked her in the face.
Oh, God.
And broke her brow bone and her nose, and they had to pull chips of skull out of her brain, and it was pretty bad. And
she's lucky to have survived that.
Yeah. Well, when she hit the ground, her husband thought she was dead. He didn't think that she did survive it. But if you ask her to this day, what's it feel like to be kicked in the face by a horse, she'll say, "I don't know." She has no recollection whatsoever of it. It just...
When I was in kindergarten or first grade, there was a kid in my class, and I don't remember the kid's name because that was a long time ago. But I remember the event because they made a big deal out of it at school, and then they explained to us why he wasn't coming back to school. But they lived on a ranch outside of town, and I guess his dad was brushing out the horses. The kid walked too close to the back of one of them, and it kicked him in the chest, and he had the perfect imprint of a horseshoe in the middle of his chest, but it stopped his heart instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful around horses. Sometimes they forget how big they are.
Yeah. Werewolf 5674 says Hannibal has a lover's leap. People still jump. If you're still in that area, or you get some pictures of that, I'd like to see it, or you could send them in and send us some of the stories. That would be kind of cool. He also says that explains something, DA. Well, yeah. That probably does explain a few things. Northwood Scripted says probably just as well she can't remember getting kicked. No kidding.
Yeah. And she
Hi, Marshall.
Really truly can't remember anything about it. Her husband,
probably for the best.
Her husband is now very much aware, though, that if something like that happens again, he is to call me and continue calling me until he talks to me personally. And if he doesn't call me, I will hunt him down like a dog. So things worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, when she hit the ground, my brother-in-law honestly thought she was dead.
I would have as well. I mean, something like that. My
Yeah.
brother was a career cop, and him and I were swapping cop stories one night, and he said one of the worst calls he ever worked. He rolled up on a scene of a one-car accident. It was a teenage couple that had just left prom, and I guess they were screwing around in the car doing something. He wasn't paying attention, lost control of the car, slammed into a tree, killed the kid. And when he walked up, he thought they were both dead, the boy and the girl, because the girl was leaning back against the seat with her eyes closed and her hand clamped to the side of her neck, but she wasn't moving and she was pale as a ghost. And he said, ma'am, are you okay? And she goes, I think I've got something in my neck. And she moved her hand, blood went, psh, and he said, get your hand back on there. And she lived. She had a piece of glass in her.
Stick your finger in it.
Yeah, she had a piece of glass in that major artery, and
Wow.
she survived. But he said she'd nearly bled out before she got that clamp down, and I guess she just instinctively put her hand over it. And she probably pulled the glass out and then put her hand over it because he said it was a pretty big cut.
Wow. Okay, well.
Mark Napier says, I used to do a rope rescue. That cliff looks like fun or a very busy work day. I bet. Northwoods Cryptid says, had a lot of L2 compression fracture and severe concussion. Was off work for 3 months. Damn. Well, I'm glad you're all right, man. Marshall Schroeder says, my horse left an imprint on my hip. My friend's horse did a cow kick and caught it. I caught it on my forearm and in front of my face. Oof. I had a buddy when I lived in New Mexico. We were breaking horses, and I worked on a ranch for a few summers, and he was breaking one that just was giving everybody fits. And I will never forget, because that thing they never did end up breaking it. He was just too mean. They ended up selling it. But it threw him, and when he hit and landed on his stomach, and he got up on his hands and knees and was trying to lift himself off the ground. He was shaking his head, and that stupid horse spun around and bit him right in the ass. And oh my God, it took a chunk out of it too. They had to take him to the emergency room.
My sister and I was helping my sister feed horses one time, and it was cold. We were out in the barn in the middle of winter, so she, thank God, had multiple layers on, including her barn jacket. And she went to throw a leaf of hay through the hay window, and the horse got confused and bit down on her arm. Even through, thermal underwear and a flannel shirt and a hoodie and her barn jacket, it bruised her arm from her wrist to her elbow.
Horses have a lot of bite pressure. People underestimate them.
Yeah.
But they are, as much as I love horses, and I love horses a lot, they are a stupid animal. They can get spooked over the dumbest things. I had one time nearly threw me off because it kept getting spooked because it kept looking from side to side. And the only thing we could figure that it was freaking out and seeing was the shadow of its own tail swishing. And it was spooking him. And he damn near threw me. We finally got him under control. Well, he was a gelding, but we finally got his quarter horse. Finally got his dumb ass under control and got him moved into a position where he couldn't see the shadow anymore. And he calmed right down.
I'm not the horseman. My sister is. Hello. When I was about 7, I was on a pony with some makeshift reins, and the reins broke and the pony bolted, and it got almost to where it was going to cross a creek, and it decided it didn't want me to be on its back when it did so. And unfortunately, my sister, who was trying to rescue me, was about at that point 3 or 4 feet behind us. And when I went off, I went under her horse's hoofs and cracked my arm and got rolled pretty bad.
Did you listen to the most recent Dixie Cryptid where it talks about the guy giving Bigfoot sour mash from the moonshine still?
I didn't listen to that one yet.
That clicked with another report I read. It was an account from here in Missouri, down near Eminence, Missouri. Anheuser-Busch, they used thousands and thousands of pounds of hops and barley a day. Well, once they're done with it, they donate it to farmers. And this farmer goes up and gets truckloads of it. Mm-hmm. And the report was his cattle wouldn't go anywhere near it because every time they'd start to, something would run out of the woods and run them off and start gathering up the corn.
Wow.
Yeah, he said anytime you put game cams out, they wouldn't come near it. But as soon as the game cams came down, they were all over that corn. So something about it. It's like Bigfoot candy.
When you go back to the LBL, you want to swing through St. Louis?
See if we can get some of that barley corn.
Yeah. You never know.
Mark Napier says they said Nathan Bedford Forrest, horse Prince Philip, killed almost as many men as he did. Wow. Horses can be mean.
Yeah, they can be.
Alyssa says Alexander the Great had a horse that was spooked by its shadow. Some horses are scared of anything. I've had them scared of bees. And I've seen them scared of snakes too, but with good reason. I'm right there with the stupid horse. I mean, I'll pick the horse up and carry it if I got to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've digressed.
However,
we are at the bottom of the hour, so I will show that T-shirt again for anybody who has not seen it. Type the title. Only do this one time, folks. You need to do it in the chat on the YouTube channel so the bot can count you. But type the title of the movie, and you'll be eligible to win a $5 Amazon gift card tonight.
that is
What
so
movie
cool.
is that from? My son absolutely loved it and cracked up when I told him I was going to do this tonight since I got this shirt. I actually got it in the mail yesterday, but I was saving it for tonight. I'm like, nope, not wearing it till we do the show. Okay, let's get back to the cryptids of Hockomock. Yeah, one of these days I'll learn. Let me back that up and try it again. So, yeah, the cryptids of Hockomock Swamp. Let's jump into that. And dealer's choice. This was your brainchild. Which one to talk about first?
Pukwudgie. I want to do the Pukwudgie. I like them.
It's creepy little. Holy crap! And some people refer to them as little Bigfoot, like they might be young Bigfoot. But there's so many accounts just dealing with them on their own, and a lot of Native American lore. In fact, there's even lore of them in Australia and other parts of the world besides up in Massachusetts area. They call them El Duende down in Texas and Mexico. It's a little person that's like that.
Australian word for it.
Yeah, I don't think I can say the Australian word for it. The Australians speak English. They just refuse to actually use English words. They've got to add 17 syllables and a couple of vowels to any name. It's a Pukwudgies. What? Just call it something we can pronounce.
Furry duck.
There we go. Poisonous furry duck. But this is a artist rendition of what the Pukwudgies look like, and they're notorious little people of Native American folklore. Some versions they've been helpful, and yet other versions they've been downright devilish. In fact, going so far as to lure people to their death and never be seen again. People that would hear their own name being called or voices of people familiar to them would follow it into the woods, and they were a statistic.
There was one man in particular who was taking his dog out for a walk one night along the Hockomock Swamp, and the dog, I believe it was a large breed, but I cannot remember what breed at the moment. There was a small creature standing ahead of them, and it was saying what sounded like Iwanchu, Iwanchu. And it was beckoning. It wouldn't come to him, but it was beckoning for him to come to it. Iwanchu, Iwanchu. And he didn't have the courage to walk up to it, which is probably a good thing, I would think.
You'd think.
And And he turned around and he and the dog left quickly. And but if that is the rendition that I pulled is based on his description of what he saw that night.
Which is a creepy little picture. Let me bring that back up, just to get everybody get another look at that creepy little thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the one time I would pass the dog. That's just creepy looking, and that little beckoning hand, like hell no, I'm not going with you.
I don't know that I'd pass the dog, but I'd be pretty upset when he passed me.
I mean, well, he's holding his hand out. What are you going to do? Going, hey, little fella. Yeah, why don't you take me by the hand? I'll give you some cookies and we'll take you back to your parents. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're on Missing 411, moron.
They have them in Hawaii, apparently. But isn't a Minahuna the opposite of a Kamaina? Maybe not.
I don't know. I've got an article on the Minihune somewhere. I'd have to dig through my notes. But yeah, I think they may be the same thing. We're a very, very similar creature because they're, there are stories in the Hawaiian lore that some of them refer to them as good omens and doing good things, and then others are like, nope, evil, just pure evil, just leave them alone, stay away from them. And the Pukwudgies are kind of like that. There's quite a few. There's actually down through the centuries a lot of accounts. In fact, there was a guy in Oklahoma City claimed he saw one walk around the corner of his house and climb on the porch with him. So there's little people lore, I think, in most major tribes, the little hairy people of the forest, and you could call them whatever you want, dryads, some sort of fairy like in the Irish and Scottish legends. Nobody knows for sure what they are, but we do know one thing: some of them can be nasty.
I think what happens is they come across as being super friendly, hop up on the porch, offer you a beer, be all friendly with you, and then they talk you going off into the woods, and then you find out just how nasty they are. That's
when you find out there's 17 of them.
Yeah, and they brought their forks and knives.
And it looks like the little guys on the movie Galaxy Quest when they're all smiling, and all of a sudden they go, yeah. Let's get out of here before these things eat Guy.
Exactly. That is hilarious, but yes.
I just completely figured that. Just got that vision. It's giving you that kind of soulful look, and then as soon as you step close, it reveals like 3-inch incisors. Like,
yeah,
the little people creep me out. But there's so much in that swamp that can creep you out. Like back in the 1920s and 30s, the civilian conservation camps, there were jobs that were created during the Great Depression to help people be able to provide for the families. My dad worked for a CCC camp fighting fires out in Oregon in the 30s. And he was very young. He left school in the 8th grade to be able to take that job to send money back home to his family. And it was the Great Depression. It was a whole different time. But I grew up hearing stories about the CC camps from my dad. And so I know the CC camps were a real thing, and they were all over the place. It was federal jobs that would allow people to at least have some money to send home to their families. And the CC camps, the workers that were helping do trails and roads through the Hockomock Swamp, kept reporting seeing snakes the diameter of stovepipes. I don't know if you all are familiar with the diameter of a stovepipe, but it's not much smaller than the diameter of a basketball. And believe you me, that's a big snake. And that's very unusual for that far north of a climb. Snakes generally don't get that big because the winters are so nasty.
Mm-hmm. That is actually true. And yes, I did say Kamaina. Why did I say it wrong? Somebody asked me if I said Kamaina. Kamaina. But anyway.
And he says they're cute. They're cute right up until the time they're not. They're like,
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, just don't get them wet or feed them after midnight.
That's right. They're little gremlins and mogwai. Irene DeWitt says, one of my grandpa's Belgian mares kicked a bear to death. The next day it got spooked by a barn cat. That sounds typical horse.
Hey, I have that thing. I'm not afraid of the big things. It's the little ones that scare the snot out of me.
The little ones tend to be mean.
Mm-hmm. I'm terrified of chihuahuas.
Mark Napier says the CC campsite is where our county fairgrounds are now. Yeah, they left an indelible mark. I mean, my dad spoke highly of his time in the Pacific Northwest. Even though they were fighting forest fires, he just thought the country was beautiful up there.
Oh my gosh. Like some women. Beautiful like some women? Or pretty till they're not.
Predictable. Irene Duet says stovepipes are between 6 inches to 45 inches thick. I don't think they were talking about the 45-inch ones because that would be a very, very big snake. I bet it would probably the small metal 6-inch diameter ones.
That would be enough for me, though.
Wolfman says,
and I like snakes.
I saw a huge snake about the diameter of a basketball come out of the Mississippi when I was a kid fishing. My dad scared the hell out of me. I wonder if it was some sort of python, because people have been letting those stupid things loose for years.
The White River in Arkansas has its own Loch Ness monster type thing. They call it Whitey,
Nice.
and it kind of resembles a snake.
Mm-hmm.
And ow, that hurt.
You okay?
So bad. Yeah.
What'd you do that for?
Nails are okay. I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty thick.
Yeah. Stephen Bishop says, what do y'all think about the Beast of Bray Road sightings? I love the Beast of Bray Road stuff. That's a really cool area. And at some point, hopefully not in the too distant future, I want to go up to Elkhorn and do some filming. Of course, I also want to go to Taylor, Mississippi, and I've been being told by some people that there's some areas that I probably shouldn't go alone and unarmed at night. So
that's okay. You're going to go with me.
Yeah, you and my wife will drive off and leave me when I get attacked.
That's right. We'll be laughing at you the whole time.
Now we could do an entire show on the Beast of Bray Road because there's just so much there. Maybe I could reach out and see if I could talk Linda Godfrey into being a guest on the show. I will make the attempt, but I'd like to do an entire. Do what?
Is she feeling better? I know she's been sick for a while.
Yeah, she has been. She was talking to Josh Turner on the phone earlier today. Him and I talked. So maybe she's starting to feel better. I mean, I can reach out, and if she says no, she says no.
Yeah.
Just, no big deal. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a show just on the Beast of Bray Road. I love a lot of those sightings, and some of them are really cool. But sidetrack, trying to shift the track back. We are still talking about Hockomock Swamp, but there are dogman sightings up there. There have been sightings of dog-headed creatures going back to the time of the Wampanoag.
One man actually watched his horses being killed by what I believe were dogmen.
Mm-hmm.
Tore them to pieces. He described them as 800-pound dogs, but okay, we'll go with that.
I've never seen a dog that big.
They don't get that big.
I had a big 200-pound slobbering mastiff, but I've never seen anything much bigger than him.
But yeah, they have. There was a man who, and I don't know, it may not have been a dog man, but I think it was in 2015. He disappeared into the Hockomock Swamp, and they sent the dogs in to track him. And the dogs, after a couple of days, they issued a news report that said they're going to call off the tracking for a couple of days to cleanse the scent in the area so the dogs could pick up the scent. But, that means sense. The dogs wouldn't track.
Right, the dogs wouldn't track at all.
Yeah, they did eventually find his body a week later.
What was the condition of it?
Dead.
Well, yeah, obviously. They don't find too many live bodies. Those are called zombies.
I think his name was Thomas Stone. You'll have to look him up and see. I don't remember the condition of his body.
Google dead as a stone. RJ says, too much forest fire smoke for the satellite internet to keep connected. Sorry, buddy. Damn, I was looking forward to tonight since Saturday. How many hours till Saturday night? Well, man, hope you can connect back through if we get a signal. But if you can't, man, I understand completely. I appreciate you joining us. You can be safe up there. Northwood Scripted says, Dogman is not something I want to meet up with. I want to see one. I don't necessarily want to wrestle with one. I
want you to find a picture of one or take a picture of one. That you're taking a picture of at the time.
I would very much like to do that.
And show it to me.
Maybe from a passing car at 70 miles an hour. I don't know.
And show it to me.
And that's as close as you want to get?
Well, I wouldn't mind being in the car if it's moving. But
they've been reported to chase cars, so you never know. Oh, what's this? Says old timber rattlers here in Oregon get that size, 6 feet, by 4 inches, but I've seen dead 8-foot one once in my life. Yeah, when I was a kid down in New Mexico, we would see rattlers get pretty damn big. Depends on their diet.
The snakes in the Hockomock Swamp, though, were monster size.
Yes, definitely monster-sized snakes.
They were more like anaconda-sized snakes, and that's just so unheard of in the north because their heating system doesn't work that way.
Right. They're not bred for that kind of climate. They're not adapted to it.
Me neither.
I like cold weather. Always have. I'm kind of insulated and built for it.
I'm convinced that both of my children were changelings because they both like cold weather, and they did not get that from me. I mean, it's 66 degrees here, and I'm sitting here with my hoodie on and my nice Afghan here.
When it drops down in the 40s, I can get my hoodie out or my big jacket. And you know what that means to me? That means I can carry my big handgun and 4 magazines and nobody's going to see it.
Also, to take you on a brief tour of my living room, I've also got that going over there.
You got the fireplace going? That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, apparently I really don't like the cold.
Stephen Bishop says there's been a viral video of a beast in someone's backyard. It is really bright yellow eyes. Not sure if y'all have seen it or not. Just wanted to have an opinion on it. If you have a link to that, like a YouTube video or a link where we can look at the video, maybe we can share it on the air or take a look at it. I don't think I've seen it. It doesn't sound familiar. I may have seen it and not remember it. I've watched so many videos. Mark Napier says people need to take better than their cell cameras if they're looking to get cryptid closely. Yeah, that's why I bought. Where did I put it? It's up on the shelf. I can't reach it. I've got a zoom lens that's 50 times magnification, so I can get a pretty good look from quite a distance with that. Oissa says, yeah, snakes hibernate in cold weather. Steven says, I'll find it real quick. Thank you. Yeah, Wolfman. Hey, Wolfman. I'm in San Diego County, California. It's not between 65 and 75. It's too cold or too hot. I'm climatic. See, I like cold weather because I can go out in the woods and I don't have to worry about wearing bug spray because all the ticks and chiggers are dead.
Well, I've already had Lyme disease. I don't think there's anything on planet Earth worse than that. And so I don't mind. I like it when it's 110 in the shade.
So which cryptid would you like to talk about next?
Well, I was actually going to go with the snakes, but we've already covered them, haven't we?
Yeah, we covered it. We talked about them. We didn't really go in depth. But again, there's not a lot to it. There are just numerous reports from the CCC camp workers of seeing them in the swamp.
Swamp terrifying, and then wouldn't go back in.
Yeah, but it wasn't like 1 or 2 guys. It was a bunch of people saw it.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. It was definitely, what do they call that when they want to discredit a group of people? Group hysterics or something.
Yeah, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. Of course, I don't think it was hysteria at all.
I don't think it was either. Because those people who work in the CC camps needed those jobs. They didn't want to give them up.
I can't get off my Afghan. Oh, well.
Northwood Scripted says, I will not go out in the woods without at least a 45 with extra mags. Don't blame you. Richie Evans says, next week a cold front for Florida. What's it going to get down to 75? Wolfman says, sorry, I missed the first part. Where is this swamp at? Hockomock Swamp is in Massachusetts in the middle of a really creepy area known as the Bridgewater Triangle.
It's south of Boston. It runs from Bridgewater to the Bridgewater Triangle is called that because of the Bridgewaters. There's a Bridgewater. There's
a Bridgewater, an East Bridgewater, and a West Bridgewater.
Yeah.
It's 3 towns named Bridgewater within about 5 miles of each other.
There's in Iowa, there are the Liberties. There's Liberty, Iowa, North Liberty, Iowa, West Liberty, Iowa, and New Liberty, Iowa. And none of them make sense as to where they are. North is not north of anything. West is east of everything. Just always strikes me as funny. And the New Liberty actually is, if you're migrating west, as most people did in our country, the first one you come to. So I would have thought it would have been farther down the road. I don't know. I don't question the logic of Iowans.
Yeah, there's some weird names when you look at city names. You can pull up maps of any state and find just the dumbest names at all possible of those little villages and towns and hamlets out in the middle of nowhere.
I think that my hometown, my home region, a place called the Quad Cities, which is half in Iowa and half in Illinois, it definitely has the blue ribbon on that one. There's Milan, not Milan. There's Rio, not Rio. There's Orion, not Orion. There's Viola, not Viola. And I know I'm missing one.
Missouri's got a knob noster and a knob lick. Do with that one what you will.
There are a lot of
here all week.
There are a lot of licks in Kentucky. A lot of them.
Like the Pope lick monster. Where does that get fun? Who's licking the Pope?
I used to live on a road called Seymour Bear Wallow. And I never saw the bear wallow. No matter how long I lived on that road, I did not see more bears wallowing than anybody else. See, Wolfman lived in West Liberty. He knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. Hang on. Got to answer Josh.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is interesting.
What's that?
Sal says, several years back, I lived in East Providence and traveled weekly from there to Bridgewater. And all that time, I did not experience anything in that area. Funny how that works. You know, that's with me. I live in a place that I live an hour from the LBL. And although I do have things knock on my house, I have never seen a dog man.
You're right. You're in Dogman Alley. I mean, you were.
I know I am.
I'm
really
shocked
am.
you haven't seen it.
Because if anywhere to, and I do live a little south of there, I live in Tennessee, but anywhere from Western Kentucky clear over to down Boone is just all kinds of sightings, and there's Dogman and Bearzilla, and I never get to see any of that stuff. I don't know. I must be a natural repellent for those things. But you know, I could slap on a whole bunch of perfume and see if that works.
Well, you know, or barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Well, I plan on doing that. I'm bringing a whole bottle with me.
I'll bring that sugar-free barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Incidentally, did I tell you about making that barbecue grilled chicken mac and cheese that I was planning? It was awesome. It came out really good.
Really good. Haven't eaten yet. Thanks. No, I ate earlier. I could just eat again. I'm a big girl. I eat a lot.
Let's see. Irene says, when you go north across the Mackinac Bridge in the fall, you can see bears cross I-75. They've taken pictures of black bears here in Springfield and like in town, you know, not just on the edge of town, like in the middle of town, which is really, really odd for this area. Patty Gonzalez says, Wolfman, if I throw a rock that close, I better hit a relative. Best named city. Troy says best named city ever has to be Cut and Shoot, Texas. There's a Truth or Consequences, New Mexico too. My sister used to live there. Wolfman says can't throw a rock in eastern Iowa without hitting one of my relatives.
Yeah, I get yelled at for hitting relatives with rocks though.
Josh says they got big lick there. I apologize, folks. I've apparently missing some comments that I should have been catching. Richie Evans says in 2016 it went down 16 till 11 a.m., then 80. Josh says, I believe it's neither. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just went back to try to see if I could catch some of these comments that I'd missed. Wolfman says, oh, we already saw that one. Sorry. Yeah, I think I am caught up. Mark Napier says, does sugar-free barbecue sauce work like the gummies? I don't know. I didn't eat enough of it to find out. Werewolf 5674 says, I feel a lot like people that see Dogman you become missing
11.
411.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the case, because when people talk about dog man encounters, one of the terms they always use, like 99% of the time, they use the word hellish, demonic, or pure evil, and that seems to be just so common among dogman sightings, and I get it. I totally understand.
Yeah. It's really not something that I should want to see. And
Josh
yet,
Jones wanted to know, is there some accounts of Pukwudgies having quills? It's kind of a throwback to the Pukwudgie question. I think
that's interesting. I don't know of any accounts, but I've seen some rather strange depictions of them when I was looking for images.
I didn't go back far enough. I found it. Sorry about that, Josh. I'm just not doing a good enough job paying attention to the chat. I apologize, folks. Yeah,
Who
I haven't
has
heard.
put their answer in? Has anybody put their answer in yet? I'm sorry.
There's quite a few people have gotten the right answer. It's coming
Cool.
up at the top of the hour. We'll go ahead and ask it again, because at 11 o'clock we'll do the giveaway. So the question is, if you've already answered, don't answer again. This is for the people that might have missed the question. Can you name the movie that the art from my shirt is from? It's my new favorite Bigfoot shirt. My wife got it for me, and if you can name the movie, you'll be registered for the drawing to win a $5 Amazon gift card. But you have to answer in the YouTube chat, because our bot only works in YouTube. I guess Facebook and the bot don't get along. So I will put the picture up, and you just need to type the name into the YouTube chat. Only type it once, because if you type it more than once, the bot will disqualify you. So you got to find what movie that is from and type the name in the chat. And again, only do it one time, and you'll be entered to win the $5 gift card, which we'll be giving away in about an hour.
All right. Anyway, ow. I'm having issues with my leg tonight. It does not want to bend.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm just finding it that if you hear my table that I'm using rattling a lot, it's just me trying to make my leg bend, and it bends for a few minutes and it straightens itself back out. Probably.
Well, I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
Northwoods Cryptid says, I have to deal with people who are hellish, demonic, and evil.
I did too, but I divorced them.
Stephen Bishop says, dog soldiers. Yeah, I can see that, but also a very good movie.
Yeah.
Sal Paso says, Northwoods agreed. I've seen people that way and those that have been possessed.
Yeah.
Maybe it just looks like fried squatch. Stephen Bishop says, is there a YouTube link? Let me look into that. I've got that. I'm getting ready to pull that up that you sent to my messenger, but I've got to switch over, which the way Facebook does things now, I can't just pull up my messenger. I have to switch over to from my personal account to my author account, and it's a pain in the butt.
Wow.
The way it does it now. And I wanted to, it kind of volunteered me to switch it to that new setting, and I wanted to switch it back, but it said, caution, if you switch back to the old setting, everything you have posted since the switch will be deleted. I'm like, Jesus, that's weeks worth of stuff. No, I'm not posting it. I'm not going to delete everything. Are you high? So that's where I'm at. Trying to, placate the Dane Guild, so to speak, Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Facebook, I do want to follow the link. Okay. Let me stop this.
Okay.
I'm going to share the screen. This is the video that was sent. Oops, nope, not wrong one. There we go. And I don't know how well you can see this because it's a TikTok video, but
I suppose if you do just the single screen with the little tiny inset, the one that's going to be inset is going to be,
Not much better. But you can see something raising up over the fence.
Hang on just a second. No, that didn't help either.
The video is only 21 seconds long. It's got great big ears. It looks more like a dog man than a Bigfoot to me.
But grandmother, what big ears you have.
Or possibly General Grievous from Star Wars. Harry. No, if you look at it, it's got, if you see my mouse, it's got huge ears. The face is flattened down, but I think it's like looking down slightly. I don't know. When it stands up and starts to move, you see its arm as it goes through the plant. It moves like a Bigfoot, and it seems to be proportioned like an ape, but the face looks like a dog man. So I don't know. Maybe a Gugway?
And see if we can get a screenshot of it and bring it up a little. Ooh,
God dang it. Stupid. No, go away, idiots.
See,
I don't know what happened with it.
Again. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do here. Oh, dog. You evil dog.
Oh, I'm not tech savvy. I suck at it.
Okay, well,
that's about as good as I'm going to be able to make it.
Let me see what I can do here. See.
Okay, I'm gonna
this over to you. You just keep talking.
I'm gonna switch back to this. I will forward this to you and to Josh, and if either of you can make head or tails of it, I will happily, acquiesce to your superior experience with video because I suck at it. Let me see if I can. Is it going to let me forward this? Apparently not. Okay, well, I can do this the easy way. Then I will just copy the link. I know how to do that. Can't fool me.
Yeah, I'm starting to get pixelated here. But
okay.
Let me share my screen.
I'm sending the link to Josh and to you. There you go. Okay. Well, the height of those ears is the thing I find the most intriguing. I'm not a video expert. I can't, and this is a TikTok video, so we're not exactly talking the highest quality. Shot on God knows what kind of cell phone camera. But it's an interesting piece of footage. If it's fake, somebody's in a big costume because those white privacy fences like that are right at 5 or 6 feet tall. So for it to be 2 feet over the top of that fence, we're looking at between 7 and 8 feet tall. So
yeah,
Mark maybe says it's TikTok, so take it with a grain of salt. I agree. Alyssa says Gugway, Bigfoot, Dogman cross, 4-toed, not 5, seen prints. I don't think the two can cross. It'd be like trying to breed a puma to a wolf. I don't think the two can cross. They're different species. But stranger things have happened. Gugway are more ape-like. Reservoir Dog says, "Wow, what is that? Good job, guys." But wow. Well, I've sent the video to both Josh and Naoma, and Josh is the video guy. Even though he's at work and on his cell phone, he can still do more with his cell phone than I can with a fully loaded PC. So we'll see what he finds in the next few minutes.
Yeah,
Steve Bishop says it's the flawless speed at the end that really intrigued me. I agree. That sudden, just massive burst of speed. And you could actually see a huge arm like move that tree out of the way as it started to blast by. So very interesting. Is it fake? Is it real? I can't say. I don't know. We don't know the provenance of the video. But all I will say is if it's a fake, it's a damn good one because the creature looks very realistic. It moves like it should. It has the feel of reality to me. Someone mentioned, they'd like to see MK Davis take on that. I might send that over to MK and ask him his 2 cents on that. I will do that after the show tonight. I don't want to bug him right now. But MK Davis's take on that would be pretty interesting. Northwood Cryptid says, I don't know what's been making noise here in the morning lately. This morning, something made a noise right after I tossed some stuff in the dumpster. What kind of noise? Werewolf 65674 says, looked like a human face with German Shepherd ears. Well, yes and no. I would agree with you on the German Shepherd style ears that held up, but the face seemed elongated, kind of pointed down like a snout. Almost like and I hate to say this, like deer bone. Oh, that almost has elements of a skinwalker or a Wendigo, but the way it moved like a Bigfoot. So
I'm going to share my screen again.
Gugway, because that looked like some sort of like not necessarily bony, but rigid snout, kind of angled down. See the way I made the General Grievous comment? It kind of looks like that weird mask that General Grievous wears on Star Wars. But when you look at that, you can see the ears sticking up, and it looks like you've got the eyes up there and then the snout coming down, and you can see the lower jaw, but the most of the face and the primarily prominent part of the snout look to either be a different color hair and it's short or no hair at all. I think we're looking at a dog-headed creature. Let me bring up the types of dogmen. I know I saved that in there. Looking at that, geez, I would have to say canine variant 3. To me, that's what most resembles. It's got that rigid snout, although the fur on the snout's a different color. If it's a dogman, it's one of the big ones. It's a canine variant 3.
Gosh, I wish you could see this better on my the one that I just cropped.
Well, we'll see what Josh can do. Small. But that's again, I make no claims whatsoever of being an expert on this subject. This is just my opinion. My opinion is no more, no less valid than anyone else's. Whatever you guys think it could be just as likely as anything I think. But based on my experience, I'm gonna go with that Dogman Type 3. It's a big monster, and it's bulky. So once you brought that still up and I got a good look at its head, I'm not thinking so much Gugway anymore. I'm definitely thinking.
I brought it in just a little bit more. I'm going to try to.
Okay, bring her up.
Share it again.
If you can just crop that image entirely away from the rest of the white and then upload it, we can show it on the screen. It'll get a much higher, much bigger. It may not be better resolution, but it'll certainly be bigger. So if you could take that and just crop around the edge and crop the white part out and all of the screen, and then just upload it like a regular image, we should be able to get a pretty good look at it. Heck, this is awesome, folks. I love getting this kind of conversation go.
Okay.
Irene says, Northwoods, where do you live? Bill Sloan says, hey, Northwoods, I bet what was making noises in the morning is a Karen, maybe. Bitching about you throwing your trash away too early. Marshall Schroeder says, okay, y'all, I'm lost. What the hell is a Wendigo? Wendigo is a Native American, it features in a lot of mythology. Algonquin, it started out, well, actually, I don't think it started, but where I first learned about it was the Algonquin legends. But most tribes have a legend of a Wendigo type creature. It's the spirit of famine, usually brought on as a curse from someone who consumed human flesh during times of extreme cold in the winter. It's a beast of hunger, and it's reported to appear like a gaunt, emaciated figure with the bony head of a deer, complete with antlers for a head. They're pretty terrifying. If you haven't had a chance to check out my books, if you'll check out the Codename Wild Hunt series, the second book in the series is called Curse of the Wendigo. A lot of research into the lore of Wendigos went onto that. Look what else we're missing. Northwood Scripted says it sounds like something big got tossed or dropped. There was a town in Oklahoma, and I cannot remember what it was, but the report disappeared really quick. As a small town down near the Kiamichi Mountains, down in southeastern Oklahoma, where there was a report of a lot of people in town, like hundreds of people were reporting Bigfoot-like creatures coming in and raiding their dumpsters at night. A lot of people supposedly saw it, and then it got shut up pretty fast. It was an account from dozens and dozens of people, families in this one little town. And I've got to do some digging and see if I can find that again, because I read the report and then it was gone. But I want to find that again. But to me, it sounds like that. It's like something was digging through a dumpster and maybe through a trash can. That would be what I would think, not having heard it. If you're going to go back out there again, Northwoods, have your cell phone recording. Just not necessarily filming, but just put on the audio recorder, stick it in your pocket, take your trash out. If we can get that, maybe we can make an estimation based on the sound. But you never know.
Check your messenger.
Okay. Dresden says wolves rarely hunt and attack humans. Primates do. That's a fact, sir. It is not often that we get that from a wolf. Hang on just a second while I pull this up.
Wait a minute. Not that one. Let me try this.
I was going to crop it real fast.
You may not have to. Where did it go? Well, okay, we'll crop it real fast.
Just finished it. Getting ready to upload it. Okay. Not the highest resolution photo, but it gives you guys kind of a look. Let me get that comment out of the way.
Until Josh can
work his video magic.
Yeah.
Until Josh can do that voodoo that he do so well.
You remind me of the man. What man?
The man with the power
of voodoo. Voodoo, you do. Do what? Remind me of the man. God. Now we're both old.
Yep. Let's see. Lenita Bryant says, I have Sasquatch with nose like that, with the short hair on the white, maybe age on it. But that doesn't explain the ears. I've never heard Bigfoot accounts talking about these huge ears. And those are some pretty pronounced, like dogman type ears. But if you look at that, look at the way that's set up, you can make out the detail on it, but that looks like a snout, not like just a primate type nose. That is definitely a snout, and you can see the mouth beneath it. I'm leaning toward that dogman type, but I could be totally wrong. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm going with dogman on that, guys. What do you think?
I think it's a big ass dogman.
I think that's your worst nightmare come true.
That is, yeah. And if it's standing that tall over that fence, he's a big boy. He's probably pushing 7.5, 8 feet tall. Sal Paso says, question DA, when you did the show about the different types of Bigfoot, did you ever put in a list of what we could see? No, I haven't done it yet. But I'm going to do an update on that because I've had a couple additions to the list since then. We had one pointed out, which is not a Palestinian, a Pakistani type of the creature, which has some odd behaviors. So I'm gonna go through that list again, update it, and we'll probably do another types of Bigfoot show. But I'm also gonna, at the same time when I do it, I want to put it on my blog and have type of Bigfoot picture, that kind of thing. So I'll have it on the blog right about the same time we do the show. So thank you for reminding me of that. That's something I definitely need to get back to. I will be doing that in the not so distant future. I also still need to get back to doing the 7 types of dogman show, and I'm going to be plugging that here. Well, I got something in the works that I can't really announce yet. Once that goes public, then we're going to do the dogman show. So I've been
of course, you were watching a different show. It's already been announced.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
Couldn't resist it.
Northwood says, what I saw in the shadows a couple years ago was standing next to a dumpster. How big was it? How big was the dumpster? Because if you know the height of the dumpster, you can get a pretty good estimation of how big the thing was. So if you've got a general height estimation, that might help as well. Lenita Bryant says, speaking of Bigfoot, the dogs are barking here now. Well, very well could be. Richie
Have
Evans
them come in
says,
and watch the show. They could give us some expert advice. I'm sorry. Don't have them come in and watch the show. Please. They don't need to know what I look like. I don't want them showing up at my house.
Richie Evans says they can eat 500-pound bears if they're hungry, never stops. Yeah, an animal that big can eat pretty much what it wants. It's got its options. Everything else is on the food chain. Lindy says, Patty, I have. I'm not the best photographer. Yeah, I just got some files tonight in my email that I haven't had a chance to go through. Northwood Scripted says, I'll try to record next time I have to toss something in the dumpster. Just be careful. Don't go getting too close just to get a recording, because no recording is worth someone getting hurt. But this is just to satisfy my curiosity. I would be more concerned that you took something to defend yourself than to do the recording. But if you can do both, awesome. Just be careful.
Check your messages again.
Okay.
Not from me.
From
Josh.
Something is wrong with my Facebook. It is frozen.
Apparently there was a Facebook meltdown.
Yeah, everything Facebook owned went down for about 6 hours a couple of days ago.
Yeah, my husband told me about it when he got home yesterday. That's how involved I am with Facebook.
Yeah, through sheer force of will and determination, I managed to survive. No, I'm just kidding. I really didn't even care. Actually, my phone.
A lot of people turned to alcoholism in that 6 hours, I'm sure.
My phone wasn't constantly blowing up, so I actually slept pretty well that day. Josh says, without my computer, this is the best I can do right now. Having color actually makes it hard to see, at least on my phone. This is right before it takes off, and it appears to move very quickly out of frame. I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying it's freaking weird. Hers actually looks better than mine. I said without my computer, I'm limited to basic photo editing on my phone. Oh, so her picture looks better than yours? Then I'll put that one back up. Let's have everybody take another look at that one. Let me get the comment out of the way. Everybody get another good look at it. And again, with those ears like that, I still want to say it's that dog man. It's the type 3 variant 3 dog man. And it's a big one. It's very brutish.
I'd like to know what Mr. Davis has to say about that.
Yeah, I want to send that. I'll send that over to MK tonight. Josh Dalton, danger! It's a freaking gugway. Wolfman says, speaking of dumpster diving Sasquatches, in the Apache tribe in Arizona, White Mountains, still see them at the back of the casino in the dumpsters sometimes. Supposedly, there's a video that was captured at one of the Native American casinos in Oklahoma of clear footage of 2 or 3 of them raiding their dumpsters, but they won't release the video. Wonder why. Patty says, that looks like La Llorona. I know someone that'll that'll make them jump. Northwoods Cryptid says dog man. He thinks it's a dog man. I'm right there with you, man. Owissa says wolves will hunt you in winter. The whole pack comes to you in a 360 attack. Line between there with brother once. Been there with brother once. So glad we're both armed. No kidding. Irene says that's a dog man. Dresden says baboon. I kind of thought the snout was baboon-like, which led me to think gugway at first. But the ears are definitely dogman. And I think it's just the way it's holding its head that it makes it look more baboon-like. But you could very well be right. It could be a gugway. I'm leaning toward dogman, but my initial assessment was gugway. Reservoir Dog says hooded nose on an extended jaw. Yeah, it's pretty weird looking. But I do think it's a type of dogman. Mark Napier says the NIR, the white part would really be black. True. Wolfman says if it's real, I would go dogman or werewolf. I'm right there with you. Reservoir Dog says type 3, like DA said. Owissa says infrared shows heat as white. I don't know if that was taken on an infrared camera. It looks color to me. Steven says, looks like an older type 3. Hair seems to be really long, and it looks like its ears and face is sort of wrinkled, showing age. Definitely not ape-like, given the face and mouth. That's kind of what I thought. The ears, at first I thought, because of the snout, I thought Gugway. But once I started looking at the ears and saw the angle of the snout, I think we're looking at a definitely, well, in my opinion at least, the type of dog man. Definitely the big type 3. Reservoir Dog says 8 feet on dumpsters. That's a big critter. To quote my buddy Doc, that's a big critter.
Excuse me, I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, okay. Mark says that's thermal. The video looked like it was in color because the fence was white, and those types of fences are usually white. Reservoir Dog says on the big ones. Josh Jones says also we can't rule out the fact that it might be a mangy bear. I don't think so. I hate to argue with you there, brother, but I don't think it's a bear. I've seen a lot of bear in the wild, and a bear does not move its arm like that to push a tree out of the way. A bear will just plow back at it. He says it's actually the reason it looks like it's moving quickly off frame is because it's actually falling back down on all fours. Yeah, but a lot of dogman accounts talk about them going from 2 legs to all fours. I think, let me bring that back up again. Let me see if I can get the actual video going. Let me share it again. I wish I had the ability to make that big, but if you look, you can see the green of the plants. You can see the white of the fence. So that's definitely in color. That's not a, and there it stands up, and then boom, it takes off. It might have been pitching forward, but that does not look like it looked like any type of bear I've ever seen. And then, Jesus. And it just kind of lunges forward off camera. Large bipedal creature caught on camera in someone's backyard in British Columbia. Yeah. Let me blow that up. That's just, maybe I can make it a little bigger. Go away. Okay. How did that happen? There we go. That's about as big as I can make it. You can see the arm come over the fence too. So that, again, that's where I'm thinking not bear. Northwoods Cryptid says, I know how tall it was because the tree next to the dumpster, whatever, is about 8.5 feet tall, about 4 feet wide. In a dumpster that big, I'd probably lean towards Sasquatch without seeing the head or knowing the description of the head. But that size and that broad a chest, because dogmen tend to be leaner than the Bigfoot and tend to be leaner and faster. But what if that's if this is a dogman on here? He's a big son of a gun. He is not someone I would want to cross lightly. Richie Evans says, I'm in Facebook in jail again, so I don't care.
I've been there a lot in my life.
Before says, might be time for a dumpster fire. Reservoir Dog says, Facebook went down. You might have checked your privacy setting. Thought I'd mention that. It's happened before. Richie, I just got paroled for 3 days ago. S. Dresden says, I don't know, brother. Northwoods, like a fool, I kept walking toward it because Bigfoot never crossed my mind, and it took off when I got about 100 feet from it. Yeah, I don't think a bear would have took off. A bear, if it had a food source, probably would have stood there and at least grunted or growled at you.
I want to share my screen again. Can I just share over yours?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Buggery drops of goo. Let me go here. How would I do that? How do I share a screen on another? Oh, never mind. I figured it out.
Figured it out. Okay. Wissa
I'm
says
not
top
very
of
bright.
most windows in home these days is 6 feet to 6'4". If you have a 7.5 foot ceiling, making that dogman about 7'6" to 8 feet tall. That thing is big, and I don't think it's a bear. Not the way it's moving right there. It's got long hair hanging down around the sides of its face because you can see it moving. That's not a bear.
I honestly don't know what that is. All I can say is I'm glad it was not my backyard.
That's a fact. Had been a for sale sign in the front yard the next day. I want to see these things, but I don't want to see them at my house.
No, me neither.
I want a little bit of disconnect there. Linda says, "Just eat your pig, one with the dog nose." Okay, I'll take a look at that here in just a minute. Dress Dresden says, "Everything that does not hibernate hunts during the winter." That's a fact.
Josh got a profile of it. Was it started to move away?
Wissa says, "I think those wrinkles were it snarling." I think you might be right. Marshall, you have a pic? Then show me. We want to see it. Stephen Bishop says, "There's color on that fence. I think blues and yellows." Is that a fence or like a planter?
I don't even know.
It's hard to say. That might not be a fence. That might be one of those like raised garden bed planters, in which case it's not as big as we think. If that's a raised planter, then yeah, we're talking. If it's hunched over here, then stands up and takes off.
I don't care how big it is. It's still the scariest damn thing I've ever seen.
I don't know. I can't tell if that's a fence or a planter. It's hard to tell because that looks like a stake support that it hits, like for holding up a plant. It looks like it's got something red on its snout too.
I wish there was a way to catch it just as it turns its profile to see really what its profile looks like, but because I don't know, I have moments when I think it looks like a big troll.
Well, that's what the Scandinavians referred to as Bigfoot type creatures.
Yeah.
They called them trolls, but when you read the descriptions, it's very much like a Bigfoot type creature.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Irene says, "I've seen more than my share of bears, and that's not a bear." Mark Napier says, "I mean, thermal shows heat as white, not IR. The video looks IR." It kind of looks like it's a shot from a bad security camera on a house, because you can see the green of the plants, you can see the white of the fence or the planter box or whatever that is, and then of course the creature looks brown, and you can see the browns of the trees behind it. I don't know.
See, at one moment it actually looks like it's got blood on its mouth.
Yeah, looks like there's definitely red on its snout.
Yeah.
Esther says, "Truth is, no video or physical evidence will ever be enough." You're probably right. I mean, we all know for a fact the government's known about these things for years. So they're not just going to one day go, "Oh, by the way," because if they admitted that they've known about these things for years, that makes them culpable for every disappearance in the woods, and they're not going to admit that.
No.
Mark Napier says, "It rises and moves off screen." Stephen Bishop says, "I've seen a lot of fake videos, but that tree bends. If that's a fake, it's a damn good one. The video legit gave me goosebumps. That's why I wanted to share it with everyone." Well, I appreciate you sharing it, man. Yeah, whatever it is, it's good sized. Let me stop sharing screen. There we go. Irene DeWitt says, "DA, I saw one like that when I was 17, and everyone was on full alert at the cabin. No one slept for 2 days." I don't blame them. I would have cut the vacation early if it was outside my cabin. You're like, "Oh, would you look at the time? It's time to go back." Lenita says, "I've never seen ears like that on a Bigfoot," which again leads me to think it's not a type of Bigfoot. Lenita says, "Oh my God, what is that? It's huge." Northwood Cryptid says, I know what I saw was not a bear because there's no way a bear could move that fast on its hind legs. That's what I'm thinking about that. It does look like it's lunging forward to go down on its hind on all fours, but it's doing it very, very rapidly. And if you it looks like the arm swipes like a tree branch and stuff out of the way, and it moves like an arm. Bears arms don't do that. They don't have a huge range of motion when they're on their hind legs.
They don't have a ball socket.
Yeah.
They have a hinge socket in their elbow or in their shoulders.
Well, Alyssa, if it's a mask, it's a damn good one. I would like to see a costume similar to that before I would call it a mask, because to me it moves like a real creature. I mean, you can see the hair moving and everything. Patty says that's definitely not a bear. What were you thinking, Mr. Jones? Werewolf 5674 says that's a good look, freaky. Alyssa says head bobbles like a mask, too heavy. I don't agree. I don't see much head motion other than it turning. But again, just my opinion on the thing. Meg Mills says that does not look like the dog man you chose to me, and it looks hunchbacked. It looks troll-like to me also. It does look like it's got kind of a hunched back.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of dogmen descriptions that talk about the hunched over,
Just bear with bacterial infection. Marshall sort of looks like it has a hunchback. Yeah, I would agree with that. It does look like it's definitely got a hunch behind it, or like that's a ruff, what they call a ruff of fur. Maybe large ears.
Very large ears. That is
Juanita says it's bending over. Must be a planter, or it could be a tall, a fence. I mean, we don't really have enough information to see, but it does kind of resemble a planter, at least in my opinion. Reservoir Dog says there's slight movement of the cam. It's being handheld. Maybe it's a slight movement, but it's moving. Okay, so it's probably not like a security camera. Someone might have been filming that from their back deck. Green says we have to go buy horses to the cabin. It's a 3-day pack and 3 days out. I can see why you didn't just pack up and leave right then.
That is just crazy.
Yeah, I've
got it paused again at a weird spot.
Put that back up. And I know it's grainy, but it's the only still.
Sorry, did I just step over you?
Oh, no, you're fine. That's the only still what we've got. But you can definitely see ears, and you can see a brow ridge. The eyes are facing forward, which is very much predator-like. That's facing forward like on a dog skull. But it almost looks like there's damage to it.
There's cheekbones.
Yeah, there's definitely pronounced cheekbones. Okay, go ahead and put yours up. I'll take this down.
Okay.
We'll run through that again. We kind of got sidetracked from Hockomock, but we'll get back to it.
Is that the right one? Did I? Okay, hang on. Let me get it started. Well, it didn't start it, did it? Why is it not moving now?
No idea.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this and see.
Maybe it's paused.
It is paused, but I thought I could start it without having to. So I've got the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Well, somewhere down here is a button that unpauses it, right? Maybe not. Maybe I've messed with it so much, it's like, I ain't playing with your goo anymore. I'm done with your game.
I'm done with you.
See if that does anything. I mean, I'm on the other screen, so you have to tell me when it's time to, well, I'm going to work on this. And when I get it going again, we'll bring it back up.
Okay.
So, talk amongst yourselves.
Josh told me to go ahead and show the picture he did. It's a similar perspective, but it's in black and white, so I think we can see a little better detail. Well, no, maybe not. That's no that. I wish I was just like a program you could put the picture in and it would just sharpen it for you and increase the focus. He's like, here, fix this.
I'm sorry, but that's kind of cute.
You can't do it.
That's kind of like a Pukwudgie, giant economy size. Okay, I think I got it going again.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, there we go. Here we go.
Here they come, walking down the street.
They get the funniest looks from
everyone they meet.
Wait, hey, with the monkeys.
Hang on, we might get a copyright strike.
Oops.
I'm kidding. I don't think they're going to look this far in. But, and we were singing it, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh sent me another picture.
By the way, I'm a huge Monkeys fan.
I like the Monkeys.
Me too. I love the Monkeys.
I have another color picture from Josh when you're done. We'll let this play a minute.
Oh, sorry. I already killed it.
Okay, you already killed it, so we'll put up the picture.
Oh, yeah. Now that is messed up.
Yeah. Can you bring the video back up again?
Yeah. That looks a lot like Pennywise there.
Okay, hang on. Okay, if this is an animal, where's the eye shine?
Oh, good question.
I'm not seeing any eye shine. I'm picking up just a little glint of reflection from the eye, but it's not true eye shine. It's not reflecting light of the porch or the camera.
Fascinating.
So we've got no eye shine, which may or may not prove anything.
Actually, wow. If you bring this up on one of your other, just bring up a new tab and play it, and just expand it until it's as big as it takes the full screen, and watch the eye. It's almost like right there, that little bit of eye shine you're seeing is a lot bigger than it looks on this screen.
Oh, okay. Well, there's more to it than we're seeing. I wish we could really slow that down. I wish I could get an actual copy of the video, not just the TikTok version of it, because then we could break it down frame by frame.
And I don't think you can manipulate TikTok like you can YouTube.
Yeah, you can't save the video either. Only thing you could do is just take, a running screen capture, I guess. But right there where it takes off, it's moving really quick. But it almost like it looks like it does have a hunchback or like a big furry ruff at the back, what they refer to on some dogs as a ruff. And the snout looks like it's got red on it, like it was eating something.
Yeah. Strange. Like a Wendigo.
Northwood says that one pic looked like something from the movie The Dark Crystal.
Yeah. This is really crazy.
Yeah.
I think the number of times that you and I look at it and say, yeah, should become a drinking game. Because that's all we keep doing. Like, yeah. Okay, everybody take a shot.
Yeah. Your
there you go. See what I'm saying?
Your guess is as good as mine, folks. She says, compare the leaf. That's a good concept right there from Lanita. Compare the leaf size to the creature. The background is how I tell size. The problem is we don't have anything for reference to tell us how big those leaves are. They could be those freaking elephant ear plants when the leaf is just massive. Or it could be something as small as a maple leaf. I mean, we have nothing for scale to tell us the height of anything in that picture. So it could be little, black bear size all the way up to 7-8 feet. We just simply don't have anything to give us a reference for scale.
Yeah. Everybody take a shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna drink some coffee. I know that. And if we keep playing that thing, I'm gonna have to either have nightmares or get me some Irish whiskey.
I can turn it off if you want me to. Who wants me to turn it off?
Well, I think
nobody.
I think we've pretty much exhausted our options without a better video analysis, which we'll wait till Josh can get to his computer.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm killing it.
Wissaconsin says it's a howler mask of the NW. Mark Napier says, I was thinking in IR, those eyes would be blazing. Yeah, but that's not an IR image. It's actually a color image. It would be great if it was an IR. We'd probably get a much more detailed, crisper view of it. And Lenita says, can you break my video down frame by frame? I can't, but Josh can. So I will get those to him. I suck at video analysis. If it goes beyond hitting the play button, I'm kind of out. Werewolf says, I think it's the devil.
I think it is too. I'll go with that.
Miss Dresden says, Gelfling. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but there we go. What hump? I have a hump. Richie says, you have the shots. I'll puff pass. What's this? Is staged on purpose? Maybe, but it's just like it's like any other Bigfoot account. Well, this one just happens to be video or Dogman account. We can't, if we call it a hoax, we have to call every one of them a hoax because there's no proof for any of them. So this one's just as valid as the next one until it's proven to be a hoax. So taken at face value, it definitely shows some sort of creature. We don't have definitive proof on how big it is. We don't have definitive proof of the validity or the falsehood of the video. But judging by the way it moves like an animal. It doesn't move like a person. Marshall says that's not an elephant ear plant. Yeah, but we don't know the size. My point was, I know it's not one of those because those are huge. But my point was we don't know what plant it is and how big the leaf is. So it's we don't really have a scale reference. Wolfman says the more I look at it, the more I lean towards Skinwalker. I can see the logic for that. Steve Bishop says there's a hand for a split second when it runs. That was exactly what I was thinking because it looks like it reaches out and pushes crap out of its way as it takes off. And it definitely looked like a hand to me. Northwood Scripted says no way of telling how big that is without knowing the actual size of anything in the background. That's the kind of the point I was making with the leaves. I just threw in the elephant ear leaves because we don't know how big or how small those leaves are. And some plants have rather large leaves. Bill Sloan says the only reason I think it may be fake is the camera operator made no attempt to follow the creature. When it started to leave, the camera went the opposite direction. They might have been hauling ass. I mean, if it was running around that fence or the planter, they might have thought, well, if it comes around the corner, I might be microwave hot dogs, something, a quick snack. So,
I admire the time that the camera person kept the camera on it.
Yeah, if it's legit,
it would have been a half a second.
If it's legit, it's kudos to how long they filmed it for. It's hard to say one way or the other, not whether it was fake, and I won't go out on the fake train until I've got more information. Patty says maybe it tripped on something. Lenny says, when I get eye shine at night, it looks like flashlight shining out. That's generally the case, but this is such a low res video. There might be eye shine in that. Naoma was saying when she blew it up in the browser that it looked like the eye shine was much bigger than we're seeing. So it's probably a much bigger overall picture. We're just looking at such a low resolution version of it. It's really hard to tell. Josh,
it does. It does look a lot bigger when you.
Josh says, personally, to me, it looks like a diseased bear, and the reason it looks like it's moving so fast off frame is because it's dropping down on all fours. That's not what I see, but I won't disagree with you because you could be right. It's such a low resolution video. It's really hard to tell. It could be a bear, like a mangy bear. I mean, or something else wrong with it. Mark T. Pierce says, the sergeant said, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Marshall says, it's definitely entertaining. We've been talking about it for an hour.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Josh says, I'll try and see if I can pull the hand out tomorrow, at least this weekend. Werewolf says, it looks up one way and then looks scared. Maybe. Josh says, FYI, like 4 or 5 people are registered for the giveaway. Okay, let me catch the. Richie says, send the video to Thinker Thunker on YouTube. Great at looking at videos. Him and MK Davis both. I don't know Thinker Thunker, but I do know MK, so I'll send it to him, and he knows Thinker Thunker. So maybe between the two of them, they can come up with something. Reservoir Dog says, I did this yesterday over a photo roll on the Killing Fields 3 documentary with my missus, a pic of a squatting Bigfoot. Looks like it's on a decline toward the fence. I agree. It's hunched down. Irene says, years ago, a man and a radio host made a video with an 8mm camera of a beast attack. I can't remember their names. Everyone thought it was real. It was done in Lower Michigan. Yeah, I remember seeing that video and watched a documentary on it. Let's bring that picture up again. Okay, maybe this one's a little, no, not necessarily. But the problem is the stills taken from this video, because the video is such poor quality, the stills don't really improve it. I don't know. That does not look like bear ears. That looks like wolf ears or German Shepherd ears. That does not look like ears of a bear. Ears of a bear are a little more. They're not as pointy. They're more droopy than that. Again, just my opinion. I'm not thinking bear, but because the motion in that looks like the movement of a hand. At least it does to me. Okay. We're coming up on the hour again. We're coming up on the hour of the drawing. Josh says there's only 4 or 5 people entered for the drawing. So if you have not had a chance to enter the drawing, go over to the Facebook channel and type in the answer to where this image comes from. The only answers will work if it's in the YouTube channel chat, because of the way that the bot works. The bot will only draw from the YouTube chat. So if you're watching on Facebook, go over to youtube.com/DARobertsAuthor and join the YouTube live there. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel. So and make sure you put the name of this the name of this movie in the chat. Only enter one time, because if you enter it more than once, the bot will disqualify you. So take a look at this and tell me what movie this Bigfoot comes from, and enter that into the YouTube chat. And here, just in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be doing a drawing for a $5 Amazon gift card. Yeah, that video's creepy.
Yeah. It happens to not be in the Hockomock Swamp, but hey, I'm good with that.
Well, there are all kinds of creatures seen in Hockomock.
Yeah. Might be one of those that just happened to travel over to British Columbia for the weekend.
Took the red eye. Just a quick reminder to everybody, we are at 912 subscribers on the YouTube channel. When we hit that magic 1,000, I will be giving away an autographed edition of the first full 5-run edition of the Ragnarok Rising Saga. I don't have one of them handy. I'd have to dig one of them out, but I will give away an autographed edition of that. I will show you something pretty funny on that. Let me go to Amazon real quick. And this kind of cracks me up, both as a writer and as just an individual. But the simple fact that this is one of my books just cracks me completely up. I would never have expected to see this. I got to scroll all the way down to this page to find it. Be right there. Okay, here we go. This, I will share the screen. I'll let you guys see all this. This is the second book 2 of the original 5-book trilogy. 5-book trilogy. It's not a trilogy, it's 5 books. But the original 5-book release of the Ragnarok Rising series. This is book 2. And this is on Amazon. Someone has this for sale. And I don't even think it's an autographed edition. But kind of take a look what book 2 of the original series is selling for on Amazon.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that brand new. They've got listed for $974.83 with 2 used at only $855.58, folks. What a bargain. But we're going to be giving away the book 1 of that version. And I would definitely would be charging that much for it. But I'm just kind of really shocked that it's going for that on Amazon. I'll be surprised if it sells, but it's just amazing to me to find out that one of my books is selling for almost $1,000 because it's out of print.
There's actually 2 used, and you could get one for $855 if you were looking for a bargain.
Yep. And you could have it by October 15th to 20th.
All right.
Boy, if I added that to my Amazon cart, I could hear my wife scream in the other room, "What the hell did you just add to the cart?"
Yeah,
hey, you can get it used for in acceptable condition for $902.81.
You know, my house is full of books, and most of them belong to my husband. But even I would be leery of spending that much on a book.
Well, I find it hilarious and at the same time kind of deeply flattering.
Yeah.
Josh says, well paid. Subscriptions and donations will be a thing that you guys will be able to do for extra features once we hit 1,000. That's why we're pushing for it.
So everybody tell a friend, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends.
It's a big pyramid scheme.
4 friends. Yeah, there you go. So remember, tonight when we're done, call everybody you know, wake them up.
That's right. Yeah, when we hit the 1,000, I will give away a signed copy of book 1 of that printing, and they're completely out of print. You can't find them anywhere unless you run across somebody that bought one at a convention or bought one off Amazon. Meg Mills, hey Meg, what's tonight's topic? Came in late, came in on the video. We were actually discussing Hockomock Swamp and all the strange weirdness that go on in Hockomock up in Massachusetts. But we got sidetracked with a TikTok video of a cryptid, which we've been talking about for about the past hour. Yeah, I don't really want to jump back into the Hockomock Swamp just yet because we're about 6 minutes away from doing the giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have not had a chance, make sure you get over to the let me put the link up for anybody that's watching on Facebook. Where's it at? Come on now. I don't have it in here. Crazy. I don't have a link to my own YouTube channel. Well, I can fix that pretty fast.
Yeah. Beat you to it.
Already got it?
Well, there's a link to the.
Oh, you put it in the chat? I was putting it up as a banner.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do a banner.
There's the banner. And it's in the chat. YouTube.com/C/DA Roberts author. I think it also works if you just put YouTube.com/DA Roberts author, because I think I've done it that way before. But if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe while you're there, please, and chat with the name of the movie that T-shirt comes from. And I'll put that back up again. That is the T-shirt I'm wearing. My wife bought me my new favorite Bigfoot shirt, so that's my Bigfoot shirt that I'm wearing tonight.
Can I make a confession?
Sure.
I don't know that movie.
You don't know that movie? Oh my gosh!
I love the picture, but I don't know that movie.
Well, you're gonna know in just your son apparently does.
Yeah. But he put 3 words in.
It's only looking. The bot's only looking for one though. One in particular. Mark says, I'm loaning a friend Lakeview Man first duty this week. I'm sure he will be joining us. I'm putting his house on the lake in the woods up for sale. Stephen Bishop says, embrace the suck. Somewhere Margolin is doing push-ups. Strezen says no grown man should have a TikTok. Yeah, that got sent as just a link, and I watched it on my Facebook page. I don't have a TikTok. I wouldn't know how to use it. I'd have to have Josh teach me.
Any grown man may not have a talk, but any grown man who spends time with me is definitely going to end up with a tick. I have that effect on men. Josh says, I'm guessing some sort of AI bot post where they realize the book is no longer in circulation. It came up with an arbitrary price. Well, if so, it's got two used ones also for sale, which is pretty cool. Meg, you asked about my knee, and it hurts awfully bad. Thank you for asking.
Sorry, Neil. Are you okay?
Oh, I'll be fine. I'm old. This happens.
Richie, that is not it, sir.
Someday I'm going to have surgery, and I'm going to have a brand new bionic knee put in.
You're going to make that noise when you run?
All the time. I will drive everyone crazy with it. I need it. Forgive me, but I need a joint in this finger too, right here, this part of this finger.
There you go.
And boy, will it stand up when I get it.
Reservoir Dog and anybody else that doesn't know, just so you can get a shot at it. I'm not going to give any hints. Hint in the screen now. Hint. But you know, I don't want to give it away. Hint. But you know, there are a lot of people who are answering correctly. Hint.
Yeah, a lot of goofy people out there.
That's right. Not old, just experience. I'm right there with you, brother.
I'm old. I've earned it.
How did you know? Mark says, I haven't seen it either, but I could cheat, but nope. That's kind of what it's there for. Everybody jump in on the giveaway if you want to get on it. It was just kind of a way to get everybody kind of interactively involved in guessing anyway. So, yeah, everybody knows the answer now. Go ahead and put it in there. We'll be doing the drawing in just a minute or two.
So in the meantime, I have cool nails.
Those are cool.
Yeah. And
those go right along with our topic on Saturday, which will be vampire lore and whether or not they actually exist.
Yep. I have my vampire nails ready.
I've got a garlic necklace standing by. Just kidding.
Garlic for supper.
I love garlic, but I'm not going to wear a necklace out of it. Josh says you can use other people's answers if you think they are right. That's not cheating. We're doing a giveaway and having fun. Absolutely. That's right there.
And it's not the first one in. It's just whoever.
Right. It's just a random giveaway. Just make sure if you've already said the word goofy, you don't say it again. Meg says, Naoma, I love that color nails. Richie likes them too.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy. And when she was doing them, I literally cried. She's like, "Don't cry." I say, "I can't help it. They're so cool."
Stephen Bishop says, "What's the time for the vampire lore?" The show will be at 9 on Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel. But we're going to be going back, tracing vampire lore as far back as we can find it.
And we'll be finding a different kind of Cape Crusader.
As it says, some vampires are good people, and some go into politics.
And some people make good vampires.
Sorry.
Okay, boys and girls, we are at the hour. Shall we draw?
All righty. If you haven't got it in, get it in quick, because we're getting ready to have Josh give us a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Mark Napier says, question: if there are vampires, do they bite Italians? Maybe, because there are more than one type of vampire. We'll put it that way. Marshall Sweater says 9 Central. Correct, sir. 9 p.m. Central on Saturday. Richie says the Chinese have their own vampires, as do the Japanese, the Russians, the Egyptians had vampire lore. The Romanian had 2 types: the Strigoi and the Moroi, the living and the undead vampire.
Are you going to announce our guest?
Well, I'm waiting on Josh to run the number. Josh is showing me pictures of bears with longer, pointier ears, but they're still not as long as the ears on that. The picture he sent, still not as long as the ears on that thing. But yeah, I see your argument. Stephen Bishop says, "Why have there never been any reports of vampires down in Africa? Because they don't like holy water, and I bless the rains down in Africa." Toto did. Toto kept them out of there.
Vampires down in Africa.
Thank Toto for keeping the vampires out of Africa.
Cheers, we are so old. There are people going, Toto.
Bishop was right there because they blessed the rains down in Africa. We're not the only ones old enough to get that joke. Wolfman says, "Don't forget about the Celtic Irish vampires." We will not. We are going to be talking about vampires all across. Irene to it says, "New Orleans have more than they need." There are actually a lot of places where there have been people reported what they believe to be vampires in both behavior and appearance. And it might also account for a number of the missing 411 cases that take place in urban areas.
But the thing about New Orleans, though, is my understanding all the vampires there look like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and everybody cooks with garlic down there, so.
I need to go to New Orleans.
It makes me want some gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
No, red beans and rice.
Etouffee. I love etouffee.
I want a big old thing of red beans and rice with that spicy andouille sausage in it. I'm going to have to make the bot. Josh says the bot already announced it in chat. Well, I missed it.
Oh,
okay. Where's the bot?
Too. Damn bot.
I found the bot where the bot says to check out the Patreon. Bot, where are you at? Join the Discord community.
Congratulations, Sal. I believe.
How far back is it?
I don't know, but I think Sal is the winner. People are congratulating him.
Josh says, "I think you've grown to ignore Nightbot." I didn't see it.
I didn't either. Of course, I ignore everything, so. Really? Sal won. Yeah, I'm seeing people say Sal won. I just can't see where the Nightbot said that.
I don't not see the Nightbot, and I scrolled pretty far back. I see the Nightbot posting the Patreon, the Discord.
It's not that far back. I found it.
Where's it at?
Nightbot. Is it Pesos? Has won the giveaway. It's not that far up. It's just like, scroll, about that much. it says Richie Evans vampire. Then it says Nightbot. Sal Paso has won the giveaway. Then it says drum roll, please. That's kind of cool. Perfect timing. But I mean, it says it in reverse. First Sal says that, and the Nightbot says that, and then Richie says that. It's right before Awissa says, don't forget the African vampire that bites you in the feet.
Okay, I missed that comment too.
Oh, okay. Well, it was right before Northwood says, I must be tired. The first vampire movie that came to mind was Love at First Bite. I love that movie.
I am not finding it.
You're going too far up. You're definitely going too far up. We have Marshall, Irene, Awissa, Sal, Bill, Stephen, Irene, Awissa, Marshall, Meg, Patty. Oops, move upwards, you fool. Where did Patty go? I lost her. It's really not that far up. It's really not that far up. When I'm telling you that Sal won, trust me.
Oh,
Sal
I found
won.
it. Okay. Finally. Okay. Yeah, Sal Pasos has won the giveaway. All right, Sal, shoot me a message on Facebook or an email at daroberts@daroberts.net, and I will shoot that right over to you. That would be this email address right here. Or you know how to message me on Facebook as well. So shoot me a message on Facebook, and it is all yours, my man. I have the code ready to send to you. So if you're sending it to me on my author page, I need to switch because Facebook sucks. I mean,
why don't you just open a second page and
because if I switch it on any of the browsers, it closes it on the other one. I cannot have it open in both at the same time. It will not let me.
Wow.
What a tremendous pain in the butt.
I have multiple things open on multiple browsers all the time.
I do that too, but it won't let me have both my author page and my regular page open on Facebook at the same time.
Huh. How
And
strange.
I hate that.
I can see where that would be a huge pain in the backside.
And it does it on my phone too. I've got to constantly switch back and forth.
Okay, now I've got Toto in my head.
Did you bless the rains down in Africa? Is that what you did?
Actually, I was thinking more in line with Toto. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Thanks, Josh. Love you, brother. He just sent me an OK Boomer meme GIF. I will call your girlfriend and sick her on you.
Ooh, you're in trouble now, Josh.
He says you could have it open in Firefox and your regular one on Chrome, or open one incognito in the regular browser. Well, okay, that makes sense, but I haven't done that, so. You know.
So what else happens in this swamp? Well, there are Bigfoot in this swamp, we are pretty sure.
Yes.
Do you know of many Bigfoot accounts in Hockomock Swamp?
I'm completely so off topic. I've got to refresh my browser, so to speak. I've got Sal on Facebook. I'm going to shoot him a quick message. So Sal, if you get that, answer me and I'll send you the code to make sure I don't think there's anybody else on Facebook with the same name, but that's an uncommon name, but maybe, who knows? Would rather be sure before I send the code. He goes, oh, I know you're a complete stranger, but here, have $5.
Have $5 on Sal Pasos.
Yeah. There was one account I remember that stuck out about a Bigfoot account in Hockomock. It was teenagers that were out parking near the edge of the swamp, and they were chased out of the area. That one stood out in my head because one reason that it was so unique is because they said not only did it chase them, but it struck their vehicle. And something they weren't able to explain to their parents why they were out there in the first place. But it was really kind of a neat encounter. because it was different. You don't usually hear about it actually striking a vehicle. I've heard accounts of it like lifting up the back of one, but this
That's
was
the one
like
I know of.
spun the back of the vehicle as they were accelerating. There are quite a few Bigfoot accounts in Hockomock. People have been chased out of the swamp by something that charges them. There's just all kinds of really odd encounters in Hockomock.
Yeah, the one that I read was about the police officer who had the back end of his cruiser lifted.
And
I think that's happened elsewhere. Like Bigfoot don't like cruisers, man.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
All right, Sal, check your message. Your code has been sent. That's good for $5 of Amazon cash. You can use that to purchase anything you like, but just a subtle hint that most of my library of books that I've written are on Kindle at $4.99.
Ain't that special?
Yeah. Weird how that worked out.
Yeah.
It's almost like that was by design or something.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. That is so
It's crazy.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of hope a Bigfoot gets Brian Laundrie too. Launderer.
Who?
Brian Laundrie, the guy that went into the wilderness with his YouTube girlfriend and came out without her. I don't know what happened. She was there a minute ago.
Oh, Bigfoot makes him his girlfriend.
Yeah. You know, I know that this isn't Hockomock, and I know everybody wants to go back to Hockomock, but I just learned this yesterday, and it just blows my mind that there are many Bigfoot in Australia as well.
Yeah, like a Australian Pukwudgie.
Mm-hmm. It just fascinates me. It's 2 to 3 feet tall. It has fangs. It's black. It's hairy. It's scary, and it blows me away that I never knew that. I like to think of myself as being rather well informed, and yet that one went right under my head. I was going to say over, but it's not tall enough, so it flew under my radar.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Northwood says I prefer to have an actual book in my hands. I'm the same way. I much prefer physical copies of the books.
Yeah.
Meg Mill says, Josh, thank you. Mark Neighbor says Odin needs to sweep this swamp. Yeah, they'd be there for a hot minute.
That would be an interesting location for one of the books.
That would be. The next Apex Predator book is going to be set in LBL. The next Codename Wild Hunt is going to be set. Well, it kind of gives it away in the title. The next Codename Wild Hunt book is going to be called Codename Wild Hunt: Death in Dyatlov Pass. So
Alabama?
Yeah, northern Alabama.
Louisiana, I'm sure. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But like I said, the Pukwudgie thing, I actually thought was more of a northern hemisphere type creature, and it turns out it's not. And we did discuss the Pukwudgie as being a native of the. I did forget the Thunderbirds. We have not discussed the
sightings as well.
Yeah, and some people have actually claimed that the Mothman and the Jersey Devil have both taken vacations north.
That place is really, really active.
It is. It's incredibly active. In fact, it's actually not. The Bridgewater Triangle is a phrase that was coined by Lauren Coleman, and he did that back in the 70s with what was the book that he wrote? That was his most famous book.
I know that, and I'm drawing a complete blank.
Me too. But it's his most famous book, and Lauren Coleman is a really interesting writer. He's the person who turned me on to toponymy. Did I get it right, Josh? I hope I did. But
is it Mysterious America or Cryptozoology A to Z?
It's Mysterious America is the most famous one. And he coined the phrase Bridgewater Triangle at that time, but it's really, if you look at all of the sightings, it's more like the Bridgewater ink spot.
Okay.
They're just everywhere in that region. And it isn't just the Hockomock Swamp, which is the most fascinating to me because I'm a Southerner and we have a lot of swamps down here. But actually, I'm a Midwesterner. I just moved south, but I have a lot of Southern family. Um, but it just was the more interesting one in the fact that it is right next to the Freetown State Forest, which is where there have been many, many, many sacrificial killings.
Yes.
And so let's talk about those for a minute because I think those are really interesting.
There was a cult in one of the small towns. Well, it wasn't that small. Not far. It was actually in the Bridgewater Triangle, but it wasn't actually in Hockomock. It was south of Hockomock, and there was a man and a woman who he was the pimp, and she was actually helped run the prostitutes. But was a prostitute herself. Formed a satanic cult, and they killed several prostitutes in ritual killings. They found them. They were bound, and they had been killed by, was it crushing blows to the head?
I believe so. Yeah.
There were several killings that way, and they believe there were more that they never found that were probably buried out in the swamp. But they started performing rituals out in a cabin they'd built out in the Hockomock Swamp, and that led to a lot of findings of bones, both human and otherwise. Lots of dead animals. At one point, they were finding, there was one farm that was like losing calves constantly. And all over the surrounding area, animals and pets were going missing, and it was just really a weird way they were doing about things. And the detective that got involved in the process was pretty sharp, because he didn't just limit it to his department. He got other departments involved and figured out that this was going on in multiple jurisdictions. And by the time they broke it down and made an arrest, the prostitute / pimp turned on the guy and testified against him for a lighter. Yeah, she testified against him for a lighter sentence, and I believe they're both still in prison because it wasn't all that long ago.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's interesting, I think, to consider the fact that of all of the cryptids that are in that region, apparently it's the humans that are the worst.
Yeah, they killed more people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even exactly sure how old that area. I mean, how many they killed because of the swamp. What was it? Hockomock meant? It was the native word was meant for the place of dark souls or something like that.
The place where spirits dwell.
Place where spirits dwell. An
archaeological. In English called it Devil's Swamp.
Devil's Swamp. And there was an archaeological dig done along in a location very near the edge of Hockomock Swamp, where they dated some of the Native American artifacts in the area at about 8,000 years. And the place being labeled a place of bad spirits dates back to the Native Americans, and it's had European settlers there since the 1600s, and they've seen all kinds of crazy stuff in that swamp. And that there's a long history of people living in that area, and there's always been tales of weird things. Cattle going missing, pets going missing, people going missing.
I just wanted to stick that up there. Keep going because I want to address it when you get done.
I'm just saying there's a long dating back hundreds of years history of weird accounts in that swamp. And like she was saying, they've seen everything from the Thunderbird to giant snakes to Pukwudgies to Bigfoot to Dogman to spirits to devil worshippers to just disembodied lights in the swamp to strange voices calling people's names, which has sometimes been attributed to Pukwudgies and other times just to spirits of the swamp. Highwaymen that operated as bandits in the area would kill people for their money and drop their bodies in that swamp. There's a long history of bodies being dropped in that swamp.
Yeah, and then you've got the strange things like Dighton Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I had remembered to bring a picture up of it. I can look for it really quick, but it's just full of all of these strange hieroglyphics, and some of them indicate Native Americans, some of them indicate Vikings, some of them indicate Portuguese, but the rock, some of them look like they date back thousands of years, and the Portuguese couldn't go back any more than 500 years, and nobody has an answer for that. I mean, where did this rock come from? Who took the time to carve all of this stuff in there? And then go ahead.
There's a lot of what they call it the American Stonehenge. Some of the carvings on the rocks around that, and it's right up there in that area in New England. Some of the carvings on that they believe to be Ogham, which is ancient Celtic.
Yeah.
Which
actually that was
really bizarre.
Yeah.
Josh sent me another picture of a Pukwudgie. I'm going to get that uploaded.
Good. I don't mean to be silent, but I thought I would find a picture of Dyke Rock.
No problem.
So,
well, Mark Napier asked, could the devil apes and the Pukwudgies be the same thing? I think you mean the devil monkeys that have been described. They've been seen in a lot of places. I don't know, maybe, but all the encounters with devil monkeys that I've heard, they've been far more aggressive. Have gone after people, and they have tails. I don't think I've ever heard of the Pukwudgies having tails. But the devil monkeys seem to be just extremely aggressive, like baboons on steroids. And baboons are bad enough. I mean, baboons have killed people in the wild many times. There was a village in Ethiopia that was attacked by a colony of baboons and nearly wiped them out. There's just a long history of fiendish monkeys. I mean, primates are bad about attacking other primates, or actually just about anything. There was footage in a zoo where I believe it was a possum or a raccoon got into the chimpanzee enclosure, and they beat the living hell out of that thing. Basically just beat it to death and tore it apart. So primates can be nasty, but I don't know if the Pukwudgies are the same thing as the devil apes. That's something I really can't give a definitive answer on without doing a lot more research. But my gut says no, because the accounts would indicate their behavior is very different. You want me to upload that picture of the rock?
Yeah.
Okey-doke.
Josh says devil monkeys are just baboons that were doing lines.
They took the pre-workout.
Yeah. That's Dighton Rock. And some of the imagery on there is definitely indicates Native Americans. Some of it indicates, I don't know because I haven't studied it deeply, but I'm wondering if just things were put in there over time.
Maybe
and
a little
some
at
of
a time.
it, yeah.
Like a message rock, how every civilization that passed by would leave their mark on it.
Yeah, I'm sure one of those things says Massasoit was here. Yeah.
I want to find the Kilroy was here.
Yeah. You look on the other side, it's there.
Yeah. But that's just one of the things about that Hockomock Swamp that's just so weird. There is so much, and even ghost activity, like spectral hitchhikers. There's one road at the edge of the Hockomock Swamp where supposedly you can get ran off the road by a phantom car. Just everything that under the sun, if it's in the paranormal or cryptid sphere, has been reported somewhere in that little area, and it's not a very big area. Like you were saying, the phrase Bridgewater Triangle was coined by Lauren Cook, but these incidents go way back. UFO accounts, people seeing lights hovering above the swamp or above areas. Bigfoot accounts. There was one where a reporter was out shooting a video near where the previous sighting had been, and the camera was pointed at him, and when he turned to look off to the side to point, he saw it, and then it ducked behind the trees before they could get the camera on it. So there's just all kinds of sightings of Bigfoot type creatures, UFOs, and a lot of you can take your theory du jour, so to speak, whichever one you want, and point at any one of these for all these disappearances. There are just hundreds and hundreds of people have just vanished, and that goes way back. The Native Americans were reporting it long before the European settlers came into the area. And then, of course, all the blood on the ground from the war when the settlers began to push the Indians out of the area. I'm sorry, Native Americans. I'm sorry about that.
The interesting thing about Hockomock's UFO sightings is the first recorded one was in 1760. When they saw a red ball of fire in the sky, that must have done quite a bit for their...
How do you explain that?
Yeah.
I mean, there were fireworks in those days, but it was pretty much, in China. That was about it.
Yeah. It's just, I think it probably had a laxative effect on them.
I would agree with that. That's a pretty good definition. Broke that stool loose.
It's like the rhinoceros.
Without the super glue.
Oh, well, now we're getting down into the crazy stuff again. We
Very
need to get
true.
away from that.
But when they start talking about Pukwudgies, it's a pretty big jump from that to that. And like
now,
Josh
that's
was,
the one that looks like it has the quills on it.
Yeah, Josh was saying that some of them reported to possibly have quills, or even be related to the Fae in some form or another. They might have some sort of magical ability about them, which makes a certain amount of sense, which would also delineate them further from the devil monkeys, because the devil monkeys just seem to be just feral, whereas these things seem to be more cunning and have been known to mimic voices to call people out into the woods. That's not really anything to do with any of the devil monkey sightings. All the devil monkey sightings have been violent.
I have to admit, though, the expression on the face of that last one is very close to my expression before I had my first cup of coffee in the morning. I do have a tendency to have a very angry look on my face.
I'm getting behind on the chats again.
Yeah, and I'm trying to catch up, and I'm reading silently, and that's not good.
Roxton says there's a rock in the USA which has a symbol of the 10 Commandments on it, which date before the time of Christ. There's also are accounts of people being run off the road by dogmen running at them. Yeah, it's nuts. Sal Paso says, Meg, you're correct. There are principalities and powers that rule over certain places. I would definitely agree with that. Meg says there are strongholds of evil activity, cities, and other places. Sal says the Celts did transverse much of the known world before more than 2,000 years ago. It would not be a surprise that they may have visited here. Also, the Portuguese were here before Leif Erikson. And there's also some strong anecdotal evidence, at least, that would suggest the Egyptians did it as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Melissa says ancient Egyptians had records of devil monkeys. They said that they were very intelligent but untrainable. Mark Napier says werewolf, right? But I would rather deal with a human than a Bigfoot or dog man.
I'm going to go with Mark on that one.
Yeah, I think so. I know if I shoot a human, they're going to drop unless they're wearing body armor. Josh says Pukwudgies seem to be more mischievous and tricksy than aggressive.
Trixie
Precious.
That Ralph Cramden's wife.
All monkeys have interacted with, or I have interacted with, are evil. I would go with that. Devil monkeys are just baboons that were doing lines. Yeah, that's hilarious. What says Meg? Triclodite? I don't know. Dear Pasco, excuse me. Pasco, Washington is very dark energy, like a visible cloud. There's some places like that here in our area that just have Tri-Cities. Okay. There's some places like that here in Missouri that just, when you get there, you just know it just doesn't feel right. Dresden says there are no mysteries. There's plenty of mysteries. Meg says, Sal, yes, you're correct. Broughton says also there are copper weapons found in the Holy Land before copper was used in the Levant. The micro exam done on the copper tells geologists it came from northern Michigan.
Wow.
Well, there's also some accounts from the special forces groups in Afghanistan of dogman-like creatures wearing copper armor and carrying copper weapons.
Are you ignoring Josh's messages again?
I can only do so much, man. I thought you were putting that.
Northwood Scripted says, I bet a 40 millimeter grenade launcher would put down a dogman. Yes, I agree.
I'm a big fan of getting Dragon's Breath rounds from my shotgun. Might not kill them, but nothing enjoys getting set on fire. Wolf 5674 says 10 Commandments was long before Christ.
Yes, it was.
Josh sent you the links for Spotify and iHeartRadio, DA. Well,
yeah,
I intended for you to post them
from his phone
in the chat. So I have done so. I've just posted 2 links in the chat, and that's to a audio documentary that Josh found, like an audio show that talks about the Bridgewater Triangle in a lot of detail, and it is a good one. If you get a chance to check that out, you guys can listen to that. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. Werewolf, Josh says yes, werewolf. Josh, wasn't hassling you, Naoma. Be nice. I was just letting you know.
It's my job to crack that whip, boys.
Richie Evans is also giants still, and also in the Bible. There's a lot of lore on giants. Hell, there's lore on giants in every culture. At some point in their either their religious background or their historical accounts. And not just talking David versus Goliath. There's the stone giants that are supposedly live up in Alaska, mountain giants up in Canada. There's lore of giants dating in every culture.
Mm-hmm. Nope, not going to crack the whip this time, Josh.
Northwood Scripted says, well, why not a flamethrower then, Dave? Well, hell yeah, if I had a flamethrower, I'd set one of them on fire.
Heck, I'd carry around a can of hairspray and a lighter if I thought it'd work.
Richie says, Dragon's Breath will kill anything, FYI, TA. I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you've got a magnesium round that's burning at about 7,600 degrees Fahrenheit, pretty sure that trumps your vulnerability to silver there, dog man. I think, getting hit with a cone of fire that's burning at 7,600 degrees, probably going to get your attention. Josh says, I'm not sure what DA posted. Those are Facebook links. I posted the direct links. Well, I copied the links you sent me, dude. I literally went to the link and went, click copy link, and then pasted it over there. I don't know what the mix-up is, but I copied the link that you sent me, and that's what I pasted. Broughton says, yes, Dogman in Afghanistan, along with the red-haired giants killed in Afghanistan. Yeah, all of them are using some sort of copper armor and copper weapons. Josh says, assuming that you believe God is a deity and is telling the truth, Dresden, that's a matter of okay. That's a debate we'll do. That's a debate for another place. We don't debate religion.
But I agree with him, Josh.
Yeah. The things we avoid talking about, the Black Plague of the 21st century, religion and politics. Because
we don't drop the F-bomb if we can help it.
Yeah, we try. Well, at least not in the first couple minutes of the show. If we can get past the first 5 minutes, yeah, we can go freaking crazy.
Oh, good. Then can I tell you why Mickey divorced Minnie?
I've heard that joke. I do the voice, so no, I better not do it.
Oh, good. Ah, man, that'd be funny. But anyway, that's what I thought when I realized it was the Goofy movie.
Mm-hmm. You thought of that joke? I don't even know if I can do the Mickey Mouse voice anymore. I haven't done it in years.
I can do Marvin Martian.
I can do Marvin the Martian. Go ahead. Let me hear yours.
Hello, my name is Marvin Martian, and I have an Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator.
Well, that's good. I like that one.
I can also do Tigger.
Let's hear your Tigger.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers is wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber, their bottoms are made out of springs. They're bouncy, fancy, pouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Okay, do we attribute that to too much or too little coffee?
Too little tonight. Oh. Anyway.
Bratchen says, my Greek neighbor said the giants on Mount Olympus were taught as Greek history until the last 30 to 40 years. The whole world writes of giants. They can't all be lying. I agree. Norse mythology spoke of giants. Native American mythology speaks of giants. I mean, there's giants in literally in every culture.
Cool.
Meg loves your Tigger.
I love Tigger. Tigger's my favorite. Yeah, my grandkids love it too. Oh, oh shoot. Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
I think we've
I've
gone
forgotten what it
offhand
is.
pretty far.
Yeah. Oh, we could start telling bad stories again.
Well, I think we've really covered everything that's been seen in Hockomock. We didn't go into huge detail on any of it, any particular experience. But if you want to check out those documentaries, they'll give you a lot of the historical accounts. But it wasn't really our goal to rehash everything they discussed in the documentary. I just wanted to bring everything up that we were aware of, so we could kind of give you a little bit of everything. It was a good topic. Naomi picked a good topic for that one. So I think that really kind of gives you a good introduction to the area. And if you have Amazon Prime, there's a good documentary on there called The Bridgewater Triangle. That's pretty good as well.
And Lyle, what's his last name? Blackburn.
Yeah, Lyle Blackburn.
He actually covers the swamp in his book Sinister Swamp, and that's what swamps, and that's a really good book to pick up.
I need to get that one. I don't have that one.
Very brief. It's pretty brief, but and then I could just name. I must have excuse me, visited about 20 websites in the last week. A lot of them are repetitious, but they are all very, very interesting. I think it's probably one of the most interesting places in the U.S. that I can think of outside of the LBL.
There's a lot of really interesting places. I mean, we're just really scratching the surface.
None of them really made me want to go there as much as Hockomock Swamp has made me. Hang on.
You okay? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Anyway, can we have an Alaskan Triangle night? That's one of your favorite subjects.
I love the Alaskan Triangle. We should definitely do an Alaskan Triangle night. I just watched a documentary about some of the events there on Prince of Wales Island. There's not a lot of people live on Prince of Wales Island, and it's in the Alaskan Triangle. It's just off the coast of Alaska. It's one of the Aleutians, and like I said, there's not a lot of people live there. There's a very small population of humans, but it's densely forested, and some hunters started disappearing, and they were like checking the area, and a cryptozoologist named I can't remember the guy's name. He's an Alaskan cryptozoologist. He went backpacking through there, and he found an area where there was an entire line of trees that had been snapped off at about 8 feet tall, ripped out of the ground, and shoved back in with the root wads sticking up. And he's like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the feeling I'm not supposed to be here.
We have an Amber Alert here in Nashville. I'm sorry, that distracted me. I always am distracted by Amber Alerts.
I definitely. Ring says the shores of Lake Superior have a really shoreline.
There's actually there's a triangle up there too, but I can't remember what it's called.
Can't either. Broughton says we have cryptids too for sure. Irene says she's heading for bed. Good night, Irene. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah, 6 a.m. in the morning again.
Brad says, Irene, do you live on Superior? Richie Evans says, we were just talking about that on Mog's Monster on YouTube. The Alaskan Triangle or that thing on Prince of Wales Island? I would like to go up to Prince of Wales Island. And they believe that there is a very, very territorial clan of Sasquatch that are trying to push people farther out to like reclaim the island for themselves. So that would be kind of cool. Brad says, I love Lake Seneca for a while. Irene says, no, she's from the Upper Peninsula.
I knew that. Why didn't I say that?
Brushton says, yes, I saw those trees trees on a video about Alaska. And I just watched the show on that just the other night. And that one's like fresh in my mind. So yeah, we may very well do an Alaskan Triangle one here in the very near future. Maybe next week. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, well, so next Wednesday night we'll do the Alaskan Triangle.
Cool. We may do triangles all month long. You never know.
I know a cryptozoologist that lives in Alaska. If you guys watched the Port Chatham video that they did, he was one of the 3 guys that went into Port Chatham.
Is Port Chatham's outside the triangle, though, isn't it?
No, it's in the triangle.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
then we get to cover Port Chatham.
We can cover Port Chatham. But he was one of the group that went into Port Chatham and put out like trail cams and stuff. I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him for next Wednesday. That'll
be fun.
I hope I can get him. I'm not going to drop any names yet because, it's not like him and I are buddies. I can call him up like, yo, dude, you want to do the show? No, we're not like fat friends. I'll send him on Facebook, send him a message on Facebook and hope he responds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, call him up and do your Mickey Mouse voice for him.
Hello, Goofy. You want to do the show? We'd love to have you.
There you go. We're just full of talent tonight, aren't we?
Full of something. Richie Evans says, Mog's co-host is from Alaska and talking about missing persons in the triangles. Might have to have you make me an introduction. Might have to see if he would like to come on and talk as well. Meg Mills says YouTube History Channel has Alaskan Triangle episodes. Yeah, I've been watching. I think I've watched all of them. Richie Evans says her name is Iron Dogger, or is it Iron Dagger? Although Iron Dogger is kind of funny. Josh says the story of Port Chatham is crazy fascinating to me. Yeah, me too.
Me too, Josh. You should take next Wednesday off and
join us.
Show.
Braston says those trees are hair raising.
I'll vouch for you, Josh.
Alyssa says the Alaskan Bigfoot in that upside down tree area have shark teeth, according to a native friend of mine, and they can be much bigger. We already know that the Alaskan strain of Bigfoot seem to be a lot more aggressive.
Mm.
Now in the area around Port Chatham in particular.
Cool.
Lenita Bryant says, do you know Stephen King's book Talisman has Sasquatch in it and werewolves? I did not know that. I stopped reading Stephen King a long time ago. It's not that I think he's a bad writer. I read the books that I liked, and then I read a couple that I didn't like, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to the ones that I know I like and not read any more. Because his writing style changed a lot. Now, I'm not knocking the guy, but it changed a lot after he was nearly killed by that runaway vehicle. His writing before and after that incident are very different. Kind of like Eric Clapton before and after the events when his son August was killed. Eric Clapton before was like cream of Eric Clapton, the old style, his 60s, into the drug culture, cocaine Eric Clapton. After his son died, blues.
Yeah.
And night and day, two very different Eric Claptons. And I look at that way with Stephen King. The accident, it was just a life-changing event. And much like the Dave Matthews Band, I liked them before Dave got clean, and then not so much after. Unfortunately,
rock stars. What are they thinking?
Unfortunately, they made better music when Dave was high.
Yeah.
Josh says the Alaskan Bigfoot got to get that protein, got to get those gains. Reggie says, sure, I'll ask him on Thursday night. Come on, DA, Mog's Monster on YouTube. I will not be home on Thursday night. I promised the wife I would take her out. We're going to drive down to Miami, Oklahoma, to one of the casinos down there. And I'm going to partake in a couple of adult-style beverages, and she's going to gamble because I don't gamble. And we'll see how things go. You know, maybe one of us will get lucky, but it's probably not going to be me. Northwood Scripted says the only Stephen King stuff I have read has been the Dark Tower books. Salem's Lot's really good. That's one of my favorites.
Jerusalem's Lot's even better. That was the short story that started.
I have not read Jerusalem's Lot.
It's part of an anthology he wrote called what is that called? Night Shift, I think.
Night Shift.
It was the first thing I ever read by Stephen King, and the first story in it is Jerusalem's Lot.
I might have to read that. I like.
He has a story in that called The Boogeyman, and to this day, because of Stephen King, I have to go through the house before I go to bed and make sure all closet doors are shut. Thank you, Stephen King, for doing that to me. I have always enjoyed his short stories much more than his books. I do like the stuff that he writes that's a little less on the paranormal side. I think he's got some really great stuff that falls into the body. You know, it's not really paranormal. It's just really a cool story. And it's a short story. But
sad face. Coffee's empty.
Oh no.
It's okay. I have a spare.
Oh, all right. I wish I'd made coffee tonight. But I read Carrie and I liked it, but then I watched the movie and was mortified at how different things were. And I think that's the problem I have with Stephen King. I don't like how detailed he is because I get bored with too much detail. But a lot of people are really, they need that kind of detail. So, I'll tell you this much. If I made as much money as him, I wouldn't be complaining. I mean, I wish I could write as well as him to make that kind of money. So anyway, you may not be lucky playing poker, but
Again, I said more than likely not. Meg says that mug is cool. Oh, I'll show it off. There's one of the nurses I worked with when I was an officer at the hospital. He left the hospital to go to school to be a flight medic. And his wife makes these, and it has the Army logo on one side, and on the other side, it has the American flag and my first name. And they do these. It's called Seesters by Heart, SEESTERS by Heart. They have a Facebook page, and they do custom mugs. And this is the one they did for me. It's kind of a wood grain look, and I've had this 2.5, 3 years now, and I've beat the tar out of it, dropping it, and it's been in patrol cars, and it's gone everywhere with me. But it's held up really good. It's a great mug, and I drink coffee out of it all the time. But Seesters by Heart. I'll type that in there so you guys.
I have to admit, when you held up the other side, I thought the bottom said drug.
No. Well, hopefully this actually plugs them a little bit, send a little bit their way. Here is their Facebook page, and you can order custom mugs, different sizes from them.
Is there any other connection to them besides Facebook?
I think they only do it through Facebook. I don't think they have a website. Their phone number is on there, and they've got a listing of their mugs on there, and lots of photos of their mugs, and they can do customs. You send them a picture, they can do customs. They just check them out. They've got a lot of cool stuff, and they're a really good group of people, and just awesome people. They made that mug for me when he was leaving, because they were good people and wanted to thank me for being the officer that helped cover his area. And we had some wild stories of crazy things that happened in the hospital working the overnight shift. So if you're out there, brother, Brad Ermy, still rocking the cup and still miss you, brother.
Anyway, I think that my pumpkin
Look
is
who's
about
in the
pop.
house.
Oh no! Oh no!
If you would like to join us, sir, I will send you a link. All you have to do is
Yes.
say the word, and we will take this show in a totally different direction. I can guarantee you.
Yes, we will.
Bob Foot says, "Day just finishing both Lakeview Mans. Awesome. Thank you, man. I'm working on the third installment now. This one's going to shake things up a little bit." Everybody saying hi,
Look at
Cam.
this.
So, Cam, you say the word, brother.
Hi, Cam. Hey, Cam. Cam, hi. Your fans are here tonight, Cam.
They're always here.
Yeah, they are. Always hoping for a rare sighting.
Yeah. Well, if you decide you want to join us, sir, I'm going to send the link to your personal Facebook page, not the Dixie Cryptid one. I just sent you the link. If you want to join us, you are completely welcome. He says,
He's just crawled
into bed working on an audiobook tonight. Oh, okay. Well, thought we had Cam there for a minute. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you anyway, sir. Glad you're listening to us. Bob Foot
You want us
says,
to sing you to sleep, Cam?
yeah, there we go. No, we'll get a copyright strike, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bob Foot says, Cam, that's how I found you, DA. Awesome, man. Thank you. Josh Jones says, yeah, I've had a chance to read what he has on Lakeview Man 3 so far. It's definitely going to make you go, whoa. That's Estres and Cam don't play old Ghibli.
Me too.
Yeah, awesome. Northwood Scripture says, it wasn't for Cam, I don't know if I would have found DA. Well, I definitely have much thanks for Cam and Naoma. They are just awesome folks and made this scribbler feel like I was one of the crew.
Ah, you are.
Cam says, I speak Ghibli.
Talking
Ghibli.
Throw that bag of snakes under that church. See how it works out for you.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of him of butchering Joe Cocker songs.
That
was beautiful. He's a good one. He's
so
a good one.
Beautiful
to me.
Can't you see?
We love you, Cam.
Oh, thank you, Cam. You're the best too.
Definitely, Cam. You're awesome. Bobfoot says, is Lakeview Man the only Bigfoot based, or is there going to be other types? There is a Bigfoot creature in Lakeview Man, but the antagonist creature is the Ozarks Howler. It's not a Bigfoot at all.
Yeah.
Josh says, guys, there are possibilities of getting sneak peeks of books, helping choose stories, etc. Oh, you've covered the Patreon. It's a great place to be if you want the inside scoop. He's not wrong. Broughton says, Mr. Dixie, we love you, sir. Well, thank you, Lenita.
Oh, thanks.
Ugh.
So, anyway, we've covered everything we can on the Hockomock Swamp, I think.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
We've got our show planned for next Wednesday, and we've already announced what we're going to be doing this Saturday. And Cam, if you're still listening, standing invitation. If you want to jump in with us on Saturday or any Wednesday or Saturday, you are more than welcome. And if it's too late, you let me know, and we'll plan a special time. I'm a night owl, but I don't mind going on earlier.
I'd be happy with that. I'm not a night owl. I learned that this summer, having to work nights to do my recordings because of the housing construction going on next door. I lose a day. I mean, I don't just lose the night, I lose the next day. That bag of snakes was the best. I agree. It was.
I love that.
Yeah. I would never have thought to do that.
I wouldn't. I like I told him, I wish I'd have thought of it.
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go on over to Dixie Cryptid's channel and look at some of those Steve Lilly stories.
That's right. If you have not checked out, Pink Cam says, thanks saying hi to me. Wanted to drop in and say hi. Early day tomorrow. I'm a week away from starting to record Codename Wild Hunt. Woohoo! You hear it here, folks. He's a week away from starting Codename Wild Hunt. That is going to be awesome. Neil and Cam on the Dixie Cryptid podcast is at youtube.com/c/Dixie Cryptid. And you can check also the What If It's True podcast at whatifitstruepodcast.com. So definitely go check those and check those out. Check the YouTube channels out. And if you have not done so, which I'm sure most of you probably have, but if you have not done so, please hit that like, subscribe, and share button, because every like, subscribe counts.
Whenever I see words run together like that, I see other words. It's just the strangest thing for me. I started seeing an advertisement for one of those, dating sites on Facebook a few years ago. And I thought it was so cool because they had come up with a website it was called plentyoffish.com.
Plentyoffish.
And I thought, how cool is that they've got a dating site for people who are a little off? I didn't realize until much later it was Plenty of Fish.
That's awesome right there. Plenty offish. Yeah, well, I'm pretty offish most days.
Mm-hmm.
Josh
I
says,
just
Cam,
thought that was
Naomi,
cool.
DA, Steve, great cryptic crew. Much appreciated, brother.
Pretty
says,
cool
awesome,
yourself,
Dixie.
Josh.
Yeah, definitely, Josh. Pobfoot says, when is Lakeview Man 3 and Codename Wild Hunt 4 estimated to be out? Well, I'm working on Lakeview Man 3. Keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to try my best to have it done and in edits before Halloween. I can't say that's going to happen, but that's kind of like a self-imposed goal. That's kind of what I'm wanting to hit. I'll have to get with Naomi and see what her schedule looks like, but that's kind of what I'm wanting to do, book wise. And then I've got a couple of books that I've got to get done between Lakeview 3 and Codename Wild Hunt 4. So you're probably looking at around Christmas before I even get started on Codename 4. So Codename Wild Hunt 4 will probably be right after the first of the year. Meg says, Cam, sleep well.
Cam, you're never barging in.
Oh, no, never. You're always welcome. You have a permanent invitation. Anytime you want to join us, you are 110% welcome, my friend.
Love
be
to
safe.
April. Yep. Hugs and kisses to April. DAI.
This says, Dixie, the stories you read have filled in some Bigfoot behaviors, gaps, and great insights. Bobfoot, good night, Cam. Keep up the great videos. Love to hear some more interviews.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Richie and Awissa both say good night, Cam.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Yeah.
Well,
I
sent you Lakeview 3. Would you like to read that snippet again?
I'm not sure my voice will hold up to it, but I can give it a shot. I have it.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to read the first 5 pages?
Yeah, the same as you did before. We'll do that as kind of the sneak peek for the night before we wrap things up.
Let me find that. Oh, dark dog. That's not what I wanted to do. Ooh, that's bright. Is it as bright to you as it is to me?
Yeah, it did light you up. South says, yeah, DA, I found you from Cam's interview with you. Thank you, man. I'm glad you came over and checked it out. Yeah, Peg says, Naomi, we'd love to hear you read more.
Aw. Some people think I have a yucky voice, so I'm always glad to hear that.
Well, I like your voice. I love your narration.
Thank you. This is cold because I haven't read this in a while, so you have to forgive the bumps and bruises on this.
It's also the rough draft. This has not been edited in any way.
Yeah, I have not edited it at all.
This is as raw off the computer as you can get.
I wish I had a little bit more water, but oh well. Lakeview Man, Book 3, The Beast of Blunk Road. Lakeview Man, Beast of Blunk Road, Prelude. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. Edgar Allan Poe. 1:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, July 5th. Blunk Road, James River Access, Galena, Missouri. There was something about this place late at night that held Patrol Sergeant Craig Shirkey enthralled. He just felt a connection to the area, and he never wanted to leave it. He passed up on higher-paying jobs with other departments to stay where he was. For one thing, he lived in this area. For another, this was more than just his home. It was the place he felt connected to. His family had been in this area for more than 3 generations. Excuse me. His parents were married less than 3 miles from where he was now patrolling. He met his wife at this very spot. Hell, 2 of his kids were conceived in that spot. He loved this place, and it was part of him, part of his family history. He would retire here. Eventually, hopefully many years from now as an old man, he would die here. There was no place he'd rather be. As the headlights of his patrol SUV illuminated the river access area ahead, he slowed to a crawl. Activating his spotlight, he began sweeping the area methodically. He knew every nook and cranny in this area, so finding the hiding spots for the local kids who wanted some alone time wasn't difficult. He felt a pang of remorse busting the kids because he'd done the same exact thing when he was young. However, this late, teenagers needed to be home and in bed. After all, it was a school night. Rounding the back of the access area, he swept a slide across the boat launch ramp and the shore of the river. Usually there were several fishermen down here, but not tonight. It was eerily empty. That's odd, Shirkey thought. I don't remember a time when there wasn't anyone down here fishing. The humid summer air suddenly felt a touch cooler. For reasons he couldn't quite explain, he released the safety catch on his holster and drew his department-issue Glock 19. Placing it on his thigh, he kept it in his right hand. Steering with his knee, he moved the spotlight away from the water and back towards the woods just north of the accessway. There was a glint of bright red eyeshine in the trees. It was far enough back that all he could see was the reflected light. Then it vanished as whatever it was moved deeper into the dark forest. Red eyeshine, muttered Shirkey. His thoughts went back to the books he'd studied as a hunter. He'd hunted everything you can legally hunt in Missouri. Eyeshine was called, help me out, DA.
Tapetum lucidum.
Tapetum lucidum. Human eyes don't reflect in the dark. Only nocturnal animals do. Red eyeshine meant it could be any number of things. Based on the size and the way they moved, he estimated it was a large canine, but it wasn't normal for a dog to have red eyes. Most dogs reflected white. Who around here has a dog that big, he thought. He didn't have the chance to ponder it for long. His light caught the reflection of a red lens indicating the presence of a vehicle. Moving closer to the area, he saw that there was a rough trail through the trees where a vehicle had been driving back into the woods far enough to be hidden from view. They had done it enough to make a double path of bare earth where the tires passed. Oh, that's my stomach. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bingo, he said, grinning. I found you. Pulling onto the trail, he followed the path into the trees and soon found what he had been seeking. A 4-wheel drive pickup truck was parked back in the woods. It was an older Chevy long bed, probably late 70s model. It was beat up enough that he could instantly tell it was a farm truck. He was approaching from behind and slightly on the driver's side and couldn't see a tag on the rear. One of the local farm kids had snuck back here with his girlfriend and probably fell asleep. Time to wake them up and get them safely back home. 116 to dispatch, he said into his radio. Go ahead, 116, said the chipper young woman. Show me out with one at the Blunk Road river access area, said Shirky. Looks like a couple of local kids parking. Over. Be careful, Shirky, said the young dispatcher. There have been some weird reports coming out of that area lately. That made him pause. Taking out his cell phone, he called the direct line to dispatch. Hearing the right voice answer, he knew he was speaking to Kimberly Durant, the youngest member of the dispatch crew. She was young and pretty, so that meant every young and single patrol officer was hitting on her. Since Shirky was neither of those things, he thought of her more as one of the kids. She was about the same age as his youngest daughter. Hi, Shirky, said Kimberly. What's up? Hi, he replied. What do you mean weird reports coming out of this area? You've been on vacation for the last couple of weeks, said Kimberly, so you've missed out on some of the calls. Several livestock in that area have been mauled by a large predator. There have been more than a dozen reports of missing pets. Heck, even the late night fishermen moved to the area over by Ants Creek. I think I might have seen the culprit, said Shirky. Looked like a big dog. I've never heard of a big dog taking down an 1,800-pound bull, said Kimberly. Tore it apart. You're right, said Shirky. One dog couldn't do that, but a feral pack could. Well, you be careful out there, said Kimberly. Get those kids on their way and get back in your car, just in case. Will do, said Shirky. Thanks. By the way, she said, did you get a plate on that truck? No, said Shirky. I'm looking at the back end, and it's got a heavy receiver hitch. No rear plate, so it's got to be a farm truck. The plate will be on the front. All right, Shirky, she said. Just be careful. Copy that, said Shirky, hanging up the phone. Putting the SUV in park, he released his seatbelt and exited the vehicle. Feeling suddenly silly, he put his pistol away and drew his Streamlight Ultra Stinger flashlight and activated the 1100 lumen beam. Lighting up the truck, he expected to see two heads pop up from the cab of the bed. There wasn't any movement. That's page 5. Where'd you guys go? There you are.
Crickets. Chirp, chirp.
Oh. Anyway.
I almost told you to go to the middle of page 6, but
I almost went anyway.
I'm okay with that if you want to go.
Half a page more?
Actually, go to the bottom of page 7, but stop at the last paragraph.
Okay.
Where it says he began. Stop there.
Okay. They're asleep, he told himself. I'm about to scare the shit out of two kids. Moving closer, he saw that the passenger side door was open. The dome light in the truck's interior was either broken or purposely turned off. Either way, it was unusual. There was an odd smell in the air, coppery and sweet. He recognized it from somewhere, and it was sounding warning bells in his head. In a flash of memory, it struck him. That was the smell of fresh blood. Son of a bitch, he hissed, shifting the light to his left hand and drawing the pistol again. Moving slowly around the back of the vehicle, he kept the light trained on the vehicle. His senses were on high alert, and all the sounds of the night that had vanished. It was so quiet that he could hear his own heartbeat thundering in his chest. Closing his eyes, he muttered a quick prayer. Please, God, he whispered, don't let this be what I think it is. As he came around the passenger side, he saw blood all over the side of the vehicle. It had been slung there as cast off. That was done when severe damage was done to a body, either through trauma or with a blade or something similar slashing through meat. Shit, he hissed. Oh, shit. Lighting up the area, he saw a killing field. Scattered over an area
That's a typo. I'll fix that.
About 30 yards across, there were pieces of bodies. He could instantly tell that they were human. Blood covered the ground and was already starting to congeal. Whatever had done this to these kids had been there very recently, likely within the last half hour. Shirky fought the urge to vomit and continued to sweep the area for signs of a threat. He felt eyes on him and knew that whatever did this was still out there, and it was watching him. Tucking the light under his arm and reaching for the radio, he stopped suddenly when he heard a low growl coming from the trees less than 50 yards away. Covering the area with his pistol, he grabbed the mic and activated it as he backed towards his vehicle slowly. 116 to dispatch, he said, forcing himself to sound calm. He knew large predators reacted to fear and sudden movements. Go ahead, 116, said Kimberly. I have 2 J4 subjects and am requesting immediate backup, he said Shirky. I think the thing that did it is still here. Understood, 116, she replied. Sending the cavalry. Are you okay? Over. I'm activating my emergency lights, said Shirky. I think this thing is coming for me. I'm going to try and get my rifle. Over. Shirky, said Kimberly. Get in your vehicle and lock the doors. I don't think that's going to stop it, said Shirky. Tell them to hurry. Shirky released the mic and grabbed the flashlight. He began shining it around as he backed up to the SUV. Glancing behind him, he saw that it was clear. When he was less than 10 feet away, he turned and bolted for the door. Diving inside, he hit the emergency lights and then dove into the back seat. His vehicle only had a half cage on one side, and his vehicle was in the open section. And his rifle was in the open section. Grabbing the AR-framed Black Rain Ordnance in 300 blackout, he pulled the charging handle. Reaching down into the floorboard, he pulled 3 magazines from the pouches of his plate carrier. He activated the red dot sign on the weapon and reached for the door handle. All right, you bastard, he said. So you can tear up 2 young kids. Let's see how you do against me and my rifle. Just as he was reaching for the handle, he heard a sound that turned his blood to ice in his veins. It was equal parts howl and scream. It sounded like something from the depths of hell itself. It screamed, howled into the night, and it lasted far longer than the cry of any animal he'd ever heard before. Dear God, he whispered, leaning back against the cold steel of the cage. He began praying, hoping that whatever made that sound wasn't coming for him. In the distance, he could hear sirens approaching. He was vaguely aware of the radio traffic that was furiously reporting nearly every officer on duty responding to assist him. The thought occurred to him that even though there were 6 vehicles responding, it wasn't enough. He doubted that any weapon they possessed would even slow that thing down. Far enough?
Yep.
Pretty good.
And that's not even all of the prelude. There's still a couple more pages of the prologue.
Oh, that's really good. I love that I can finish reading it. That I don't have the suspense that everybody else has.
Well, it's at almost 31,000 words and climbing. I'm going to try to knock out as many words as I can tonight. I'm hoping to break 35,000 tonight, and that'll put me at roughly the halfway point. I'm gunning for 70 to 75,000 words on this one, maybe as far as 80. Depends on how it goes. But we're going to shake some things up with this book. Some characters are going to be very different when this book is over.
I can imagine. I've only got just that little bit. I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Meg says, Naoma, awesome reading. I cannot agree more. Naoma, you are awesome.
Thank you.
Richie says, I can put that into a film in my head. Awesome. So that's how I see it when I write it. It's like a movie in my head, and I just write down what I see. Bob says,
that's exactly what I do.
Sounds great. Also sounds like he ended up 6 feet under or close there. You have to read the book and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Mark says, I missed a few minutes. Was that the new Lakeview Man book? Yeah, that was most of the prologue of the new Lakeview Man book. Mark says, I love Lakeview Man. This one's gonna shake you up, man. This one's gonna be a little different.
It's a good one.
I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. Have I sent you the most recent bits?
No.
Okay.
I've only got that.
I will. Well, I tell you what. Well, before I forget, I will do that right now.
Is there enough? Are you comfortable enough with the first part for me to start editing?
Maybe. I'll, because
I can wait.
I'm not 100% sure if I'm not going to go back and change a few details toward the beginning. So maybe
Understandable.
I'll talk to
Some
you.
people like for you to edit as they go, and some people like to wait till it's over.
Well, it would make the
and I don't
process
have a
go
problem
faster.
doing-
But if you send me edits to fix, that will actually draw me away from the actual writing. So yes and
Understandable.
no. So well, check your Facebook Messenger because you just got everything I've written up till this point.
Cool. I see that.
Richie says, do you put your stories in audiobooks? Yes, we're working on that. Naoma is actually working on doing the audio for Lakeview Man 2 as we speak. Hopefully that will be done before too awful long. And as soon as Lakeview Man 3 drops, I will want her to do the audio on that one as well. Way it's probably going to work is I'm going to have Naoma do the audio for the Lakeview Man series. Cam will do the audio for the Codename Wild Hunt series and possibly Nightmare Hunter series. I haven't decided yet. Matt Roper, a friend of mine, is going to be doing the Apex Predator series. And a friend of ours named Allie is going to be doing all of the Ragnarok Rising series. I have not yet found somebody to do the sci-fi books, so I'll be looking into that really soon. So if you have a account on ACX and you've done narration before and you'd be interested in doing the narrations for the sci-fi books, maybe that's something we could work out through the Patreon. Maybe we could see if anybody wanted to jump on that or the Discord, talk about it. If anybody has a background in doing audiobooks and would be interested, shoot me a message. We might be able to work something out. If you haven't read the sci-fi, I would definitely hope to help you would soon because I would love to hear your input on it. Pretty happy about that. We're going to be also working on the covers as well. The publishing house that I worked with, J. Ellington Ashton Press, lost their cover artist. He left to take another job. So right now at the moment I'm between cover artists. So I'm going to be looking into that as well. So if you've got experience as a graphic artist or anything like that, hit me up through the Facebook page or through the Discord, and maybe we could find somebody out there who might be taking over doing covers on certain series. Mark Napier says Dan Clark set this one out. Clark does not appear in Lakeview 3. Well, maybe at the end. We'll see. Meg says, Naoma, your book?
Well, I've been so wrapped up in doing this show, and I've been trying to get Cam has been putting out quite a few of his Dixie Cryptid, and I've been trying to get ahead of the game on that. And I'm making a lot of excuses here, so let me think of another one. Gosh, it feels like every day I get up and I have a list of things to do, about 10 or 11 items long, and I get 1 or 2 done. But I have not finished my book. I have, however, started a bunch of short stories that Cam and I are going to release together. He's doing some and I'm doing some. And I'm hoping to have that done by the end of the month. Actually, the next couple of weeks.
That's going to be awesome.
I should say have the stories done. Of course, they'll have to be edited, and the book will have to be formatted. And I'll have to get a cover. I actually have a cover artist in mind, and she pretty much knows what I want. And then, of course, once we print, we actually print through 48-hour books. And that literally once I approve the book, it takes 8 hours to print and about a day and a half to get here.
Nice.
And yeah. And then Cam and I are going to narrate our own stories, and we're going to do a Kindle version, an audio version. And I'm going to release it in Kindle too. So saying the book will be done, that just means the writing portion should be done in the next couple of weeks. And then I'll get back to my book.
Had some questions about the Wild Hunt patches. Those are in the works. I'm working with actually I'm waiting on quotes from the same patch company that Kerry Davis uses over at Dark Angel Medical. His patches are awesome. Of all the morale patches I've had on backpacks and body armor over the last 6-7 years, The Dark Angel Medical ones are the only ones that routinely get stolen. So I always manage. I come back from my backpack and my Dark Angel patch is gone. I'm like, all right, which one of you a-holes stole my Dark Angel patch? Oh, we took that.
I'd love to have one of those. Actually, I'd like to have a sticker for my. I put stickers all over my laptop.
You want a Dark Angel sticker?
Hmm?
Oh, I got a ton of them. I'll send you some.
Get any of your book stickers?
I just happen to have these are old too. I have a bunch of the old Ragnarok Rising. I found a box of them. The old Ragnarok Rising stickers. Those are in multiple colors. I've got them in purple and brown and red. And,
Purple is my favorite color in the whole world. I am a purple person. Yeah.
But I've got some of those, and working on getting some of the more of the Codename Wild Hunt patches, not patches, stickers done, because those went pretty quick. I've got a ton of stickers over here. Yeah, I'll send you an envelope full of stickers if you want.
Cool.
Josh says we can do stickers on the merch store as well. There are a couple I already have. And at some point, we very, very soon, I'm going to do a portion on the show where not only do I will be giving away some of these Scallywag tactical patches that I have. I've got a Scallywag tactical hat to give away. I've got a hat from Sig Sauer to give away. I've got a couple of hats from Dark Angel Medical to give away. And I want to start doing some of the reviews on some of the knives I've gotten, like this one here. I got from Scallywag Tactical, and these are just awesome knives. Some of the best knives I've ever had. I've actually got one more of theirs. I'm supposed to get here tomorrow in the mail, and it's a pocket knife. But I've got a ton of their knives that I would like to start going over and reviewing on the show as well, and send some of y'all over to Scallywag Tactical's way, because they've been pretty good to me. But I do have some stuff to give away from them, from Sig Sauer and from Dark Angel Medical. So we'll be doing that very soon. I've got hats. I don't know if I've got any t-shirts. I'll have to check the box they sent me. But I've got this Dark Angel Medical hat. It has not been worn. Tag's still on it. Then I've got this one from Scallywag Tactical. That one will be giveaway soon. And I can't find the Sig hat. It's down here on my desk somewhere. But I've got a Sig hat. There may be a t-shirt down there too. But I'm going to try to get Carrie over at Dark Angel Medical to send me some more patches too. Meg says I love the knife logo. She loves those hats. Hey, there's some great hats. Before I haven't done it tonight. I haven't done the Dark Angel commercial, so let's do that real quick. You guys all know Dark Angel Medical. We've had Carrie on the show before. This is one of a few of his kits that I have, but I carried a kit just like this for years on my duty belt. It's just like this one. The only difference is it's black, and that was on my duty belt forever. And that's a trauma kit called the Dark Kit, Direct Action Response Kit, and you could stop the bleed from a major gunshot injury with this kit. But they make kits all the way up from like just basic first aid kits to full-blown trauma kits to vehicle kits to multiple trauma kits. Dark Angel has medical kits for pretty much every occasion. And if you're going to be going out in the woods, I don't care if it's Bigfoot hunting, bear hunting, deer hunting, anything you do in the woods, be that just hiking or otherwise, you run the potential of getting hurt. You could twist an ankle. You can trip and fall. You could go around a corner and you could surprise a bear. Reason I recommend these kits is because the kit comes with a tourniquet in every one of them. You got a set of trauma shears, and that tourniquet don't trust like you see on TV, where I'll just take off my belt and do it. Those don't work well. They really don't. And if that's the only thing you got, it's better than nothing, but nothing beats a good tourniquet. And they not only offer these kits for sale, they offer the training classes on how to use them. And if you like and subscribe to Dark Angel Medical's YouTube page, there's a lot of videos on there that'll actually teach you a lot of good survival skills. But if you're, no matter what you're doing this day and age, it pays to have a med kit, because the life you save very well could be your own or somebody you care about. And a med kit's like a parachute. It's one of those things you'd rather have it than not need it, and not need it than need it and not have it, because you ever need it and you don't have it, you may never need it again. And here's a word from Doc.
Everybody, this is Kerry Pocket Doc Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
Another great thing about the Dark Angel medical kits is they have what's called the Kit for Life guarantee. If you use your kit to save a life, even if it's your own life, if you use your kit to save a life, you document it, you send the kit back to Dark Angel, and they will resupply the kit for free for life. Best kits in the business, bar none. I bet my life on them for 10 years.
Cool. You know, the knife that I like is the one with the 3 blades.
3 blades?
Yeah, it's like comes out with 3 different angles.
Is it anything like this one?
That's it.
I call it the juicer.
Yeah. I like that knife.
It's an awesome little knife. Not a lot of practical applications to it. It's just a stabber. It's something you want to, if you really want to inflict a wound that you're going to need a trauma surgeon standing by to close, that's the knife. It's not really a knife you're going to use for much of anything else. It says you can make a spear out of it, and I imagine you probably could. And if you had to hunt to save your life, that's the one to do it, because it's going to leave a wound that ain't going to close.
Yeah. Well, as I started to say earlier, I think my pumpkin's about to pop.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, I'll shut up now. But yeah, very soon we will be giving away those hats and some Scallywag tactical patches and stuff like that. We got more stuff on the way, and I'll be throwing in a surprise giveaway here, and I'll just basically whoever wins it, I'll get your address from you and pop over to the post office and get it mailed out. Bridgie says, I want a Killian blade from Star Trek. Oh, the Klingon blades. There are companies that make those. I think Gil Hibben made a botleth, and it was actually edged and could be used it was fighting quality steel. It wasn't a museum prop. But there are several places out there that make actually fighting quality botleths. Meg Mills says, what is Saturday? Vampires, correct? Yes, Saturday is vampires, and next Wednesday will be the Alaskan Triangle.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good time with that. A lot of people gone missing. They said over the last 30 years, and we're talking about a state with per capita less people in it than 1 square block of downtown New York. Now, it is not a very populous state. In the last 30 years, 16,000 people have gone into the Alaskan Triangle, never to be seen again. Per capita, that's the highest missing persons rate in the world.
Let me repeat that. 16,000 people.
16,000 people have gone into the Triangle and never been seen again.
Yeah, so let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to go up to Port Chatham. I'm down. As Carrie would say, I'm down like 4 flat tires.
Yeah. And you will be.
Yeah, maybe not. Dresden says long spear, gladius, and axe. Well, I've got the spear. I don't have a gladius. I do have the bounty from Scallywag Tactical, and that's about the same. Let me show you the bounty. Let me not knock everything off over here. If you've read the Codename Wild Hunt books, you've seen me mention the bounty before. This is the Kydex sheath that comes in. There's the handle. The handle you can actually fit both hands on. And that is the blade. That is, it's designed after the old Gurkha style blades. This is a chopper, and it is razor sharp right out of the box. I took that thing right out of the box. The way it was shipped to me, I've never put a whetstone on it. I could lay that thing against my arm and peel hair off my arm. That thing is wicked sharp.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I still like the one with the 3 blades.
Yeah, it's the juicer. I don't know what it's actually called, but I refer to it as the juicer because that's exactly what it's going to do.
That. Yeah. It's going to turn your insides to juice, no doubt about that.
It's going to let the juice out. It's like squeezing the pulp out of an orange. Well, folks, that we're kind of at the end of the show for the night. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Naoma, thank you for being here. You are so awesome as always. Thank you for reading that too. I know I kind of put you on the spot, but it was awesome. Reggie says that looks like an elf blade from J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah, a little shorter and thicker, more like a dwarf blade because it's not really. The elven longswords were so long and slender, and that's like short and stocky like me. It's definitely more of a dwarven weapon.
What was the leader of the dwarfs in The Hobbit? What was his name?
Thorn and Shield.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. But yeah, he was the one that was in search of his blade, right?
No, they were trying to get their kingdom back, but they had found a blade near the beginning, and he tried to getting it back in the movie, which didn't happen in the books. In the books, he just carried the blade.
I don't know. I've never seen the movies, so.
Oh, you haven't seen the movies?
I've only ever read. No. Huh. I know. I'm so weird, but I did see a 1970s animated version.
Oh, the old Rankin and Bass animated series. Yeah, those were pretty good.
I've never seen any of the movies. I don't know why. I think because I wanted to. I have to be honest. I am short and I have really big feet. Fortunately, they're not hairy, but I've been called a hobbit a time or two in my life.
My wife's 5'2". I call her a hobbit all the time.
Yeah. And that's been since high school. So I've always had a fascination with it. And I remember when the movies started coming out, I thought, I want to reread the books first. And only in the last couple of years have I gotten around to rereading the books. And the movies have been out forever now.
Yeah, I need to read them again. Mark Napier says the blade he found was an elven sword. Yeah, him and Gandalf both had elven sword. One was Glamdring the foe hammer and Orcrist the goblin cleaver, and I'm pretty sure Thorin had Orcrist. I think that Gandalf carried Glamdring for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Josh has got a point. He says, if you guys are nerds, enjoy pop culture, be sure to check out All Tower Media with myself and Matt Roper. We're going to be adding another show we will break down titles and fandom. Yeah, they talk about everything from Star Trek to Star Wars to role-playing games and everything in between. Anything pop culture, you're going to find it on that show. So check out their channel over at All Tower Media. You can check them out on Facebook and or here on YouTube, but just punch in out, just do your search All Tower Media, and you'll find them right away. You can also link to them from my author page. There's a lot of references to them over on my author page, so definitely check those guys out. Richie says, have you read all the other books he did, J.R.R. Tolkien? Yeah, I'm a huge Tolkien fan. I've probably read them a dozen times over the years and need to get back to reading them again. I want to get the big hardbound, like laminated editions. I want to get those, but all I have is the old paperbacks at the moment.
Well, long deep sigh.
Yeah, even coffee's not really doing it at this point. I've drank so much coffee, my teeth feel hairy, so I need to brush my teeth and get something to eat. And then I'm going to try to work on Lakeview Man 3 more. Also, just an FYI, folks, if you guys have heard my story, Codename Wild Hunt Operation Lily, over at Dixie Cryptid podcast, if you've heard that and listened to it, I'm going to be releasing that as a novella. I'm actually going to go back and change a few things and extend the story somewhat. Probably add another 4,000 to 5,000 words, and then I'm going to release that as its own little standalone. It's too long to be a short story. It's too short to be a book, but it's probably going to be right in the ballpark of 20,000 words, and that'll be the upgraded version of Operation Lily. And it'll hopefully be available in Kindle and print very soon, and then we will see about the audio. Of course, the audio is kind of already available. I'm not going to fundamentally change the story. I'm just going to go back and add some detail. So the audiobook's already available over at Dixie Cryptids. So definitely go check that out. I want to thank you guys for being here. You guys are awesome. We had such a wonderful chat tonight. You guys, that video alone, we had such an awesome chat on. And that's what I love about this is it's more like just all of us, just like a bunch of friends sitting around talking about cryptids and looking at videos and throwing pet theories out. This is not meant to be a, we're not the British Museum. Oh, we're going to tell you exactly how cryptids are, and you must listen to everything we have to say on the subject. No, none of us claim to be an expert on this because there are no experts. Everybody's opinion is just as valid as the others. Whether you believe, Bigfoot comes from space, or it comes from another dimension, or comes from the hollow earth, or it's just a North American ape. Whatever your theory, whatever your pet theory is, it's just as valid as anybody else's because we don't know for sure. Maybe it can cloak. Maybe it can teleport. Maybe he's just really fast. I don't know. None of us know. But what
maybe
we do
he's
know,
good at poker.
Yeah, maybe he's really good at poker. Maybe he sells Girl Scout cookies. Ring ding. You want 10 minutes? We don't know. Maybe he waxes himself and competes in surfing competitions in the summer. Again, we don't know. So everybody's theory is welcome. Everybody's ideas are welcome. And because we just love the subject. We just like talking about the subject. We talk about the stories. We share our theories. We've had some pretty lively chats, a couple of times bordering on arguments, but we don't really want to argue the subject or belittle anybody's opinion. We just want to share the stories and exchange ideas, because as long as we're open-minded and exchange ideas, that's eventually going to lead to solving the mystery behind every cryptid. It's going to take everybody, go, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Because no one person has got all the information, and no one person is an expert on this. So take that with a grain of salt, because again, I do not claim to be any kind of expert. I welcome you guys being here every time we have a show. Naoma, I love having you as my co-host. You are awesome. You always crack me up.
We're all awesome here.
Indubitably.
I can't do a British accent. I can do a bit of an Irish one.
I do a sarcastic British accent. You do an Irish accent? Let's hear it.
Just a little bit of an Irish, just a wee bit. I can talk a little bit. I like to always tell the story about the time I was doing me some talking with the Lord, and he says he can get me out of this, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
Braveheart, great movie.
It's my favorite line in that movie.
There's a Scottish comedian I like named Danny Boy, Bhoy. If you look him up, he's pretty damn funny. But he was doing a show in Australia, and he's from Scotland. He's like from right around Edinburgh, Scotland, and his accent is thick. And he was doing a stand-up show, and someone says, "Oh, I love your Irish accent." And he stopped and he goes, "Did you just say Irish accent?" And they looked at him. He's like,
"You're about to die."
He's like, "I am Scottish. This is a Scottish accent. This is what a Scottish person sounds like. Now, listen, because this is very subtle, very, very subtle. Listen to the wee differences between a Scottish accent and an Irish accent. This is a Scottish accent. Fiddle-dee-dee, potatoes. That's an Irish accent." So I always love that analogy. Fiddle-dee-dee, potatoes.
Yeah.
Check out Danny Boy. He is pretty damn funny.
I'll have to do that.
He cracks me up every time. Well, folks, again, I appreciate you guys being here. It's the chat's always lively. It's awesome to have you guys here. We have so much fun doing this. And you guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys for everything. We are rapidly approaching the 1,000 likes on YouTube, which changes everything. But YouTube will actually start pushing the show. We'll actually start featuring in searches and in recommendations. So a lot of things will change when we hit that magic 1,000 number. And we've only gotten this far with all of you guys behind us, and you guys are the absolute best. Naomi, you are awesome. Cam's awesome. I love working with you guys, and I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because I am stunned and humbled and overwhelmed at how far some goofy stories written by a kid from a farm north of Lebanon, Missouri, have taken me. And I in the last year alone, the last 2 years since the big Black Plague of the 21st century hit, I've noticed a huge change in the books. I've put out a lot more content than I've ever put out before because of my back injury. I've been able to have the time to just write. A lot of progress has been made in the last 2 years alone, and I'm humbled at how far we've come, and I'm eager to see how far we can go together, because it's going to take all of us. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I say it many times. You can find it in my blog post. You can find it in some of my Facebook posts. But writing is a journey that we take together, reader and writer. No one portion of that equation is better than the other, because without the reader, there's no need for the writer. So you guys are just as important to the story as the writer. And I want to thank you guys for taking that journey with me. It has been amazing. It has blown me away. 3 years ago, well, a little over 2.5 years ago, I was riding in a patrol car, bored on an overnight shift, listening to Dixie Cryptid, listening to Cam tell stories, thinking, I love this guy's accent. I love the way he tells stories. And 2.5 years later, he's my friend. And it's just astounding how far this has taken me. And in my heart of hearts, I will always be that farm kid from north of Lebanon, Missouri, off YY Highway. It's just astounding. It's amazing. It's humbling. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for taking this journey with me. You are all the very best. Thank you guys so much. And hope you guys have a great night. And we'll see you guys on Saturday. This is Wednesday. Days of the week running together on me. Thank you guys so much. And again, I want to thank the men and women in uniform, be that law enforcement, EMS, corrections, the ladies and gentlemen who work in healthcare, everybody that's out there on the front lines, keeping us safe and taking care of us through this crisis that we're living through. And hopefully it's getting better. And I can see a time when we're all able to get together again at conventions and being able to sit around campfires. Because that's something I would like to do. I would like to have like a big Halloween event where I've got a bonfire and I can invite a bunch of people and we can just tell spooky stories around the fire and have a good time with it. And so I just want to thank everybody out there that, deeply, personally, from me and my family, for keeping us safe and for the job you guys do, and to let you guys know that we appreciate and love you all. And thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have an awesome night. Neilma, love having you. Love you. You're my good friend. You're my good friend, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. If you ever have an encounter of your own that you wish to discuss, contact us at daroberts@daroberts.net. You can remain completely anonymous if you wish. Pull your covers up tight and keep a nightlight burning bright. Oh, and did you forget to lock your doors?
Mm-hmm.